can hear me and everyone else.
Mhm.
See, Leicas are in
Yay.
the chat. Tell me if you can
That
hear me.
sounded so sarcastic.
I
Hit the tab. Sorry. Let me unmute the tab.
Can you
It
hear
looks
us?
like it says we're still waiting. Oh,
Yeah,
Is it up?
it is. Waiting for the. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Now it's like,
Can you
yeah, it
hear
yay,
looks like
there we
we're
us?
on.
go.
Okay,
Yay.
awesome.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. We are back. It's been a while since we had one of these podcasts. Unfortunately, I got sick for like 5 weeks earlier this year. I wanted to do this earlier, but unfortunately, yeah, it took a while. And then we had to reschedule because of people's schedules getting mixed up. So finally, we were able to make it this time around. As you notice, I didn't make a huge announcement for this because we were just bringing back a lot of old members from our previous podcasts. And so we're going to do things a little bit differently this time around. And it's not going to be some kind of huge deal where it's like, hey, let's ask people from the community to ask questions and then we'll sit in a circle and answer. I came up with these questions, and it's more just to see an update on how our previous podcast members were doing. So, without further ado, let's reintroduce everybody. Let's start off with myself. Again, my name is BluechanXD. I am a writer over on both ASMR Script Haven as well as Talking Tall Tales. And I usually host these podcasts, but this is not going to be about me. It's going to be about our other three previous members. So let's start off with Leica. Please tell us how you've been doing since the last time you came on.
Hi. I'm. Can you hear me? I'm scared.
Yes, I can.
Am I coming through?
Hello.
I don't. I was looking at the. Okay. Whew. Hi, I'm kind of dumb. No, I've been doing great. My VA channel hit like the year mark back in February, and so I guess I'm at the 1.5 year mark now. But I've been writing much longer.
Congratulations on a
I
whole
should
year.
thank you. Yeah, and I really want to start posting scripts for everyone more often, but I'm still writing like a crazy person. So hell yeah, it's been great. It's been really fun.
Well, that is great to hear. So let us move on, and we'll actually learn some more. We'll be asking you all some questions about all this content you all plan to make very soon. But next up, Skittles, please tell us how you've been since the last time you joined us.
Ooh. All right. So I am Skittles Audios. I usually write more than I record, but I talk enough for both. um, I attempted to actually post an audio by myself, and I've been attempting to write in the background, working on a couple projects, trying to get back into the swing of things. Hopefully coming up on some milestones very soon, if I remember correctly.
Would love to hear about
And yeah.
those once we start asking questions too.
So, yeah. So going a little slow, but it's going well,
Well, that is great
I would
to
say.
hear. And last but certainly not least, Turtle Shark, tell us how you have been for the past year or so.
Well, hello. I'm Turtle Shark, and I had to check when I was last on this podcast. It was almost a year and a half ago at this point, which feels kind of crazy. But since then I have since then I've entered my 4th year of script writing, which has been pretty exciting. I've largely continued posting like scripts as normal. Every Monday and Friday is what I aim for, unless, life happens. And, well, I haven't had. Okay, I was gonna say I haven't hit any major milestones recently. That's a lie, but I'll explain that later. It's, yeah, it's just mostly been continuing as normal, but with a few things that I think we'll talk about here in the next question. So.
Yes, it is great to have you here. And I will say that the 4 year mark is also a huge milestone. Congratulations on
Yes.
that.
Thank you.
Yes. But
That is wild.
yes, it is huge. I'm also in my 4th year, so by the end of
Oh,
actually
wow.
by the beginning of next year, I'll be 4 years in. So that's gonna be fun.
Oh, wow.
I might do something a little
Oh,
special for that as well.
What?
But that's not until January. So, but
Ooh,
anyway, this is about you guys.
I see.
So, like I said, I came up with a lot of questions for our guests here. It's going to be a lot shorter, hopefully, compared to our previous podcast. That's why I tried to kind of skim things down a little bit and also give you all a little bit more time to talk more about yourselves, just because we kind of go a little bit quickly with our other podcasts since there's more people. Again, hopefully this is a little bit more streamlined, and we do have some personalized questions at the end that we'll get to. But for right now, um, I'm not even going to do like the randomized thing or anything. We'll just go in alphabetical order just to kind of simplify it. But let's start off. Let me if I can get OBS to work properly. We will start off with our first question, which is going to be what have you been up to since you last joined us? What sort of content have you been working on? And this is more of an extension of our little introduction. So let's start off with Leica.
oh my gosh. I've been kind of experimenting with this and that and the other thing, and I I don't know what a niche is. I don't. I haven't figured it out yet.
Be experimenting.
Like I know so experimenting a lot. Like just trying videos with different types of, like different I guess like because you specialize in villains like so well, and like like people specialize in Yandere and people specialize in this and that. And I'm just like, I I don't know what I specialize in. I'm still just figuring it out. But it's always fun because I mean there's something new and exciting like every time. So
And I feel like
I've also
it's nice to have something like that. Just because again, like you don't want to pigeonhole yourself too much. I mean, like you said, I do a lot
yeah,
of film stuff, but I also like to do a lot of other things as well. I like to experiment, but
yeah,
it's kind of funny how
yeah,
people just kind of know you for one thing and that one thing only. So
yeah, that too. Because like the one video on my channel that like popped off was a superhero thing from like ages ago. But it was a villain listener, hero speaker. So now I'm like, crap, do I do more like that? Or do I just keep experimenting? So it's really interesting, like the stuff you like consider trying to niche into. So I don't know. I've been messing around. I've been doing a lot of collaborations too, and those are always really fun. Um,
actually, what kind of
so
collabs that I would like
hey,
to hear?
uh, oh yeah, I wrote this very silly Pokemon collab recently. Like I used like sound clips from the games. It was a lot of fun. I've done I don't know. I just like the words are hard, man.
It's
I've
fine. It's fine.
it's just really cool working with other people and getting to I've done a lot of the editing for collabs as well, so it's like, ooh, I get to play with all the files and like leveling up editing game has been really fun too.
I feel like that's not something we hear too much about, especially from our VAs. We don't like we have had some VAs talk a little bit
Yeah,
about
that's
the
very
editing
true. Like I
process,
don't
but it feels like almost kind of a separate thing sometimes in the conversation.
yeah. Yeah, I actually really enjoy editing. I usually offer to edit for people who are like, I don't want to listen to my voice. Like, well, I love your voice. Give me your files. You know, it's really fun.
Everyone's trying to remind you to
It's
breathe, by the
great.
way.
Oh, I'm not gonna breathe, chat. I'm not gonna breathe. I don't need to breathe. It's fine. No
You'll have
breathing
some time to
only
breathe between the
podcast.
other two answering questions.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's your time to
Breathe
shine right
later.
now, you know.
Talk now. But yeah,
Remind
like
me
I
to
just
throw
I'm
all my
still
audio files at you.
do it. I dare you. Like I'm down. It'll be fun.
Okay.
No, we all
Just give me
know
the
who to
Modasti
send
files.
our video files to.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll
We
do it.
do.
It'll be fun. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Mm,
That is great to hear. We'll give you a little bit of time to breathe, like going forward.
Thank you.
Okay, so how about you, Skittles? What have you been up to?
Well, I realized that not only has it been a year since I was on the podcast, but it was also the exact same podcast that Turtle Shark was on we're twinning for the second time.
Yeah.
Ciao. Yeah.
Woo.
I guess since then I've tried to start my own little podcast, one-on-one, basically a mini series of this. I pre-record interviews with just one person at a time, and I've been working on that recently, got a resurgence, been messaging a few people, might say some big VA names to get people interested. Like Lavender
Ooh.
signed up.
You gotta save all the answers
And
for that because it's one of our that's your personalized questions.
Oh,
we gotta
never mind.
save it. We
I
gotta save
forgot
it.
that was one of mine. Heck,
You're
It's
hyping
okay.
them up
I
like
don't.
character reveals.
The character reveals
I
is
don't have a
spoiling
podcast.
everything.
What are you talking about? I'm like the Tom Holland of ASMR. I have some ambitious scripts I'm gonna work on. I've been trying to work on voice acting more often. Maybe try and make a demo reel. See if I can do more ambitious ASMR projects. Because, like Leicas said, what is a niche? I just do what's fun. And as of right now, I'm just trying to see what I can write out of the 300 ideas and see who's not busy so I can poke them. And yeah, that's all the content stuff anyway.
Well, yes, and I'll give you some more time to talk about the one-on-one podcast a little bit later on. So y'all got a little bit of a sneak peek on that, but we'll get to more on that later in the podcast.
Yeah, it's probably the biggest project I have that is actually making progress.
Well, I'm very excited to hear about that once we get to it. But yes, and then we'll move on to Turtle Shark. What have you been up to?
Well, as I said, I'm in the middle of my 4th year of script writing, and things have largely continued as normal. I have done a little less, like, just casual collaborations with other people, and that's not because I don't like doing them, because I do. It's just because real life has been pretty chaotic and hard to keep up with. But other than that, about 3 months ago, I ended up beating my record for longest script I've ever written. It was off the top of my head, I think it was about 30,000 words.
Okay, that's not even a script, that's like a novella.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Or not 30,000, sorry,
Wow.
3,000.
Oh, okay, I was like 30,000.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no.
30K. Woof.
Not 30K.
Okay,
3K.
3,000 is a little bit more reasonable.
Yeah.
Just enter it to the Scholastic Book Fair at this rate.
Yeah. Then about 2 months later, I ended up beating that record again by about another 500 words, I think. And yeah, about 500 more words. And then another 2 weeks after that, I beat that new record by another 500 words, completely on accident. So I have tripled my longest script ever written, which is fun. That sounded very sarcastic. It's just a lot of work. It's cool, but it's a lot of work for longer stuff.
Maybe at some point we are going to get that 30,000 word script.
Maybe. If things keep going at this rate. Yeah. And it's slightly unrelated to ASMR, but still has to do with my writing. Recently I've started working on fan fiction. I've changed my schedule a bit so that the 4th Friday of every month, instead of posting a script, I'll work on a fan fiction. I have 2 of them out on AO3 right now, both under the same name, Turtle Shark, and I'm doing it not just because I'm a big nerd and I like nerd stuff, but I also want to write like an original story one day, like not in the ASMR format, but in a full book format, and this is good practice for that. That's still a few years off, but it's one of my long-term goals, and I'm super excited to, be branching out into more types of writing.
Honestly, you know what I find kind of funny is that I feel that there's this funny little pipeline between writing fanfics and then writing scripts, just because I'm probably one of many who started off
definitely.
writing fanfics back in the day, and then I moved on to scripts, so it's funny that you're going backwards.
Yeah. Yeah. I have noticed a lot of like ASMR scripts share sort of common fan fiction tropes and tags and all that stuff, so they're pretty linked together. But yeah, I'm kind of evolving backwards, I guess.
And then eventually the
Return to
book writing.
fandom.
Because,
Yeah.
there's also the pipeline of people writing fan fictions on AO3 and Wattpad, and then it eventually becoming a book. So maybe you will finally get a book deal because of that.
Yeah. I used to write like a ton of books as a kid. They were not very good because I was not experienced and I never edited anything. But, it's kind of weird. I stopped doing that, then started writing again with ASMR, and now I'm slowly working my way back to that. And I want to clarify, ASMR scripts will always be my number one priority as Turtle Shark. So, like, I don't want to replace my scripts with, full novels. I want to do both. So, I'm a little greedy like that.
And I mean, it's nice because each medium has their own perks, I guess, because sure, like, the only, I guess, quote unquote, problem I have with ASMR scripts is that you don't get a lot of, like, the visuals that you would get from something like, say, a webtoon or like webcomic or something like that. Like, it's a little bit harder to get certain vibes down. And then in a book, you're a little bit more descriptive comparatively, but you don't get the voice acting from it. So you're kind of just guessing what the emotions feel like or like how a character is going to sound. So there's perks to each of them. So it's nice being able to kind of double dip with the different types of content that you make. So definitely props to
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's like there are lots of stories I want to tell, but some of them will just work better in certain mediums than others. So it's fun to be able to do a lot of different stuff.
I am looking forward to seeing that. You better post that your big 30,000 word story eventually.
I'm gonna have to do that now. Oh no.
We're gonna hold you to
ASMR,
it.
the
Next
movie.
time that you're on, I'm gonna ask you how's it going with the 30,000.
The script, the movie, the musical,
The script,
the
the ASMR, the
adaptation of
movie,
the stage play.
and it has every single possible one of the tropes and tags thrown
I
in.
want to see it.
Oh gosh. It's like those
Coming
old
soon to
movies
literally
like
everywhere.
Scary Movie, but it's just ASMR script. That's the title.
Yes.
ASMR script.
It's
ASMR
gonna be its own
script coming soon
mythology,
to a
honestly.
theater near
I
you.
feel like it.
A full like godly family
Oh my
tree.
gosh. It starts with like a POV shot of someone like opening their eyes and you hear, "Hey, are you awake?"
No, you're finally awake, listener.
Oh, boy.
It has to start off
I'm
like
sorry,
that.
I'm sorry to trigger you with that. I'm sorry.
This could be a podcast in and of itself, us making the ultimate ASMR script together.
Hey, you can never have too many podcasts, apparently.
Yep.
Apparently not. Normally I don't answer questions from the chat, but Jack Frost did make an interesting point. Would an audiobook fit the niche between more descriptive, but also allowing for voice? I think so. It has its own niche, but again, like when you're talking about an audiobook, comparatively to something like a script where it's like 15 minutes long, but then, an audiobook's several hours. So I guess it's more of what you want in terms of your content. Do you want just a very short scene? And that's the cool thing about ASMR as well, where you can have just very small ideas for one scene, but not an entire story. And it's a really good medium to showcase that. You don't have to tell the entire story to get that idea out of your head. So, yeah, there's kind of different reasons why people would pick one medium over the other. But yeah, I feel like audiobooks would be kind of just one of those mediums where if you were into script writing but you wanted to be a little bit more descriptive, that would be a decent choice overall.
I mean, I've also heard that maybe 4 or 5 VAs have already been willing to read out Turtle Shark's audiobook that hasn't even been made yet. So
Yeah,
You gotta make a
it's definitely
collab.
a market.
Make a thread over in the collab.
Oh yeah.
the collab
Yeah.
channel over here in the Script Guild Discord
Really?
server.
Yeah, even
Yeah.
before I told anyone about, this idea, I thought it would be cool to get like a bunch of VAs to voice the different characters in an audiobook. And like as soon as I just mentioned the idea of writing an original novel, so many people were like, "Yeah, I'll read that for my channel." And it's kind of humbling in a way. Like, "Oh wow, people are excited about this hypothetical thing that hasn't been started yet." So I'm
has been
looking
obviously-
forward to it eventually.
And I'm excited to
Coming
see
soon.
it once it comes to fruition. Hopefully it will get there eventually. Alrighty.
Coming eventually, the audiobook.
Eventually.
True.
Alright, let us move on to our next question. So we're back to Leica with this one. How do you feel about your very first script or fill? So, Leica, you
Oh
are
my
up.
gosh. My first script was oh my god. I think it was a mecha script that not filled, and that's how I found the Script Guild.
Wow.
Oh, did it ever get filled afterwards?
Well-
That's a question.
No, it's gotten filled like once or twice, or like I am in a weird minority as a writer in that like I churn out stuff and people just don't fill my stuff because I'm weird and niche with my writing, which is fine. Like I get it. Like I write weird stuff. People don't always vibe with it. It's not going to stop me because I like writing. But like the fills I do get, like they're very precious to me. I freaked out. Like with my first fill, I think I didn't read the comment. Like I saw the notification for it, and I think I didn't read it for a week, and I didn't click on it for another week. I get really embarrassed. I freak the fuck out. Pardon my French. Sorry, I should keep my language appropriate.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Like I'm one of those people who just gets really shy about my work, or I did. I feel like I can handle it better now because it was a while ago now. So, like my first scripts are super clumsy, and I'd love to rewrite them, but looking at the old writing would be awkward too. Let me see something. I think I have my Airtable somewhere. With my, so it should have the chronological. Should do it. Should do it. I should know more about myself, right? But here we are. Oh, you know what? It was not my first script. My first script was really fun. My second script was the one that got filled first. The one that not did. But I honestly, like, I'm so fond of all the old stuff and the new stuff and every stuff. Like, I don't discriminate. My children are all my children. Like everything is precious to me. Like anyone who's done my work, I love you so much. Anyone who has read my shit, like, thank you for reading it. Like anyone who listens to my stuff, hell yeah. You get all the props in the world. Thanks for tolerating me.
I feel like that's
I'm
a good
really just-
relationship to have with scripts too, like, and just fills in general, because I've seen people on Reddit talk about this and say like, oh, like, nobody wants to fill this one script of mine, and it makes me wonder, like a lot of times people will say that it makes them, I guess, feel like, why am I doing this in the first place if no one's gonna fill it? And just my philosophy has always been, if you're gonna write something, let it be something that you will enjoy going back and reading yourself.
Absolutely.
Because,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I feel like it's just a majority of people are never going to have all of their scripts built. That's just an inevitability.
Definitely.
Things just get
Definitely.
lost in the cracks, and then some people
Mhm.
just won't find your content interesting. But again, it
Yeah.
really just the only thing that
Like
really matters is whether you care about your own work or not. Because I mean,
getting the
there's
fulfillment out
yeah,
of making the thing. Absolutely.
'cause,
Um,
and I've told people, I mean, like there's scripts that I've written that haven't been filled in like 3 years, like they've never been filled like once or whatever, and I still go back and read them because I enjoy my work, right? You
oh
know, I feel
yeah.
like that's the sort of
Yeah.
relationship you need to
I
have
gotta I
with
gotta
your
try
work.
filling one of your unfilled
Oh,
scripts.
that'd be fun.
That
Yeah,
would be
I have
fun.
several.
I've been meaning to do one of your scripts for ages, and I'm a coward. So like blue is too cool for me. I don't know.
Oh, that's a bonus question from a grain of salt. Looking at your
Ooh,
first script or fill, do you want to remaster it? Because you kind of
hell yeah.
answered that sort of.
Oh my god, hell yeah. My first script is I don't want to say like it's perfect the way it is, but like it was like it was actually kind of a fanfic at one point, and I stole some lines from it and like turned it into a script instead. Um, and I like it the way it is, and I like the video I did of it as well, the audio I did of it. I would probably redo the mecha thing that not filled though, just because it's a little short. Um, like, and my first the first fill I ever filled, yeah, I would totally remaster it. I did not know what I was doing with my audio.
Guess we'll
Yeah.
tack that onto, or we'll tack grain of salt's question onto the same question, I guess, if the others want to answer it. Guess we'll move on to Skittles
Yeah.
then.
Fast, fast,
Yeah,
fast.
let's go. How do you feel about
I'm
your first
sticky at it.
script or fill?
Okay, so the interesting thing that I actually don't think I've ever told anyone is that my first script wasn't my first ever actual script. It was the first script I ever posted. What actually technically got me into script writing, other than encouraging words and wanting to write weird stuff, was there was this audio by Lavender, not Lavender, Lavender, the color, um, about giving a spa day to your partner. And for some reason, I just really wanted to write a sequel to that and give it to the VA to perform. I haven't touched it for a long time, but that's kind of what pushed me into it. And then for my first ever posted script, actually, I'm sorry, there are like 3 different first scripts I have. My writing history is a little messy. Okay, so technically the first script I ever posted was the Turtle Girl. I was It was interesting to see how my first script performed. I remember being really excited when Echo directly messaged me and said, "Hey, Juniper Justice filled your script." I didn't know who that was, but I was like, "Oh, they filled it, apparently." Actually, that's the only fill of that script. And it still stands the test of time. It was interesting, too, because it was a unique take on the script that I didn't think about, because I always thought that the Turtle Girl would be like a very energetic creature stuck in a slow body, but Juniper Justice kind of did the opposite, and it went really well, and it surprised me in a very positive way, and I feel really good about that. Eventually, yeah, and I did have to fix up a little bit, but yeah, that's a good one. That was a year ago too. Wow. And sorry, I'm looking at the.
Yeah, no, it was the grain of salt bonus question. Would you remaster it? Is the question.
Would I remaster the Turtle Girl script? I technically did. It was a little choppy because it was my first time writing, and so I actually did. Along with the Sleepy Best Friend, that was actually going to be my first posted script as well. I did remaster that and then upload it, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. Because before, it looked like I was high while writing it, which I suppose was kind of the point.
That's an interesting way of describing
It was a fever dream. I'll have to send the original to you sometime. It was wild. And the spa day, I think I have to like take a day to actually go back to the channel and look at it, because I don't even know if she posts anymore. But I would like to at least write the script and send it to her just as a gift. I don't really care if anyone fills it. Actually, I thought of filling it myself and then giving it to her. So eventually that is in the works, just going back to where it all began and talking to an old friend, I suppose. They have to look up the channel. But yeah, I will save the rest of the yapping for the other two questions because they fit into those ones more. But yeah, but I would.
Though something
I'll say
actually
that.
that I don't even think. Well, kind of extending off of the question that Grain of Salt posted. Here's a question: if you remastered it, would you repost it as a separate script or replace the original?
I think I would keep a copy of the original, but then I would replace the original. Maybe if people ask questions about it, then I would explain, hey, I felt the need to remaster this. I guess it depends. Actually, it would be a lot better to just add a new post. That makes more sense to me. That was kind of the nice thing too, is I had to get a new account because I changed my name from Skittles ASMR to Skittles Audios. I got a new Reddit account, so that was the opportunity to fix all the mistakes I had in my previous posts. Just like, oh, I messed this up, I can fix it now. And so, yeah, I think that makes sense.
Actually, no, I'm gonna kind of put in my 2 cents worth with this. I feel like it's also kind of important to keep a lot of the old content that we make just to show the growth that we've had over the period of when we started and then whatever we're doing now, because I feel like there's a lot of things that I've done in the past where I would look back and say, oh my gosh, why did I do that? Right. But it shows how much things have changed over time.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the gradual improvement with a lot of practice.
Yeah.
So there's definitely some value, I think, in keeping old stuff.
Yeah, definitely happened either way with the migration of accounts. So,
alrighty.
I guess whether I want to or not, it kind of became the latter. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. So let us move on to Turtle Shark. How do you feel about your very first script?
Well, kind of like Skittles, I have a bit of multiple first scripts. The first one I actually wrote, I never ended up posting. I still have the draft saved, but I haven't ever made it public. I'm trying to think back to because I can't remember a whole lot of specific details, but I know it was like an F for A script with a human speaker finding a borrower listener, and I started writing sequels to it before I even finished the first script, which I would not do today. But I think what's most interesting about it is how different it is from my usual style of scripts, because right now I try, in general, if I can, to make every script A for A, unless a character's gender has something specifically tied to the story. And I don't usually name my characters, mainly because I'm bad at it, but I don't usually name them unless it makes sense for them to drop their name in the story. And I feel if I did end up posting that script for the as my first one, the entire trajectory of what I do would be very different. So it's kind of interesting to think about an alternate universe Turtle Shark where I did end up finishing it and posting it. But I will say I've used a lot of ideas from that in other newer scripts, so I don't really feel any need to finish it and post it. It'll just kind of be in the archives, I guess. As for my first ever posted script, it was the Reddit post titled Comforted by a Fairy After Running Away from Home, and the actual document titled it Our Family Tree. Rereading it, it has definitely showed its age. Like, the formatting is particularly clunky in a lot of areas, and when I had the fairy saying magic words, I wrote out the pronunciation in I don't even remember what they're called, but what you would see in a dictionary to help you pronounce the words that nobody knows how to read. I, for some reason, thought that would be easier for people. It was not. But kind of like what, Blue said, I can look back at it and see how much I've grown since then, which is really nice to think about. It's nice to see for myself how much I've improved, and also I'd like to think if there are maybe some other writers out there who want to start but don't think that they're very good at it, they might see my earliest scripts and compare them to my modern ones and see the improvement and think, okay, maybe it's bad now, but if I keep at it and keep practicing, I'll get better. So I really like to help people in that sense. And overall, I'm just proud of my younger self for actually posting it, because I talked about this a little bit with Skittles on our one-on-one podcast, but I had no faith in my ability to write when I first started out. I thought I would post a couple stories, no one would pay attention, and eventually I would just lose the motivation. But I still pushed through the fear and I posted it, and while that script wasn't the one to kind of kick me off into where I was today, it was still, the starting point. And the hardest step to take is always the first. That's life advice for you.
Yeah.
The first fill I ever got was for that same fairy script. Unfortunately, it and the account that posted it have been deleted, and I wasn't able to save it. So my first ever script fill, as far as I know, is lost to time. But I still remember being so ecstatic to just see that someone liked my script enough not only to read it, but also to voice it and post it on their channel. It made me really happy and really inspired me to keep at it with writing. And I wish I remembered the name of the account that posted it, but I don't. So I'm just saying, whoever you are out there, you're awesome. Thank you very much.
Kind of also want to tie in what A Dragon Speaks was saying. And I feel like this is such a really good idea, maybe to have some sort of resource where people just post their first script and we just consolidate all of them just to show new writers how people started off. Because really, I think, and I see this so often over on Reddit where people are talking about how scared they are to post their first script or their first fill, and just, you know, we all started somewhere, right? And it's not always going to be some kind of perfect masterpiece. We're going to look back at our old content and think, wow, that was kind of embarrassing, or again, things that you wouldn't do. But I think it's worth showing people and just that growth from where you start off and then where you could be years down the line with plenty of practice. So I don't know. I feel like that might be a good resource to have, just consolidate.
We don't all start at the same point in our lives either. Just because I was writing at 13 or 12 or whatever, doesn't mean that someone who's not just 18 now isn't starting for their first time or whatever. So it's my first drafts of stuff might date back to the dark ages. just in terms of like how my writing has evolved over time. Like,
And like
you
going
know,
back to that whole thing about fanfics, some of us started when we were kids, we started writing fanfics when we were preteens or whatever, or however long ago it was. And that
yeah,
probably contributed to whatever skills we ended up developing for writing ASMR scripts,
yeah,
because somebody might start off writing with ASMR scripts and not fan fiction, so
bingo.
there's going to be that kind of discrepancy there. And even then, fan fictions have a very different formatting compared to something like a script where you
Very
have a
true.
bunch of descriptions, you
Yep.
have several characters talking to each other. So even just the jump from one medium to another is gonna might be a struggle for some people, and so you're gonna
I
have
know some
kind of
people
a
in
different
like
feel to
the
it.
prose writing community that I'm part of. They would be like, "Oh, I didn't place in this contest. I'm a piece of trash." And it's like you were bold enough to write a piece for a contest and like cool enough to like enter it and believe in yourself that much. Like that's awesome. Like it's a contest. It's difficult. You don't quit writing if you've been writing for a year and didn't win a contest, you know?
Yeah. Like, as I said, the first step is always the hardest part, and putting yourself out there at all is always very scary, no matter how experienced you get. So, really, the
Very true.
best advice I can give to anyone in that position is just kind of take a deep breath, bite the bullet, and post it. And then just like leave it for a day or so and then
Yes.
check on it.
24 hours
It's,
is definitely a good period.
yeah. Because otherwise you'll be like me and obsessively check it like every 30 minutes until you have to go to bed. And that's not great because you'll see time pass to be like, oh, I only got one upvote in the last 30 minutes. I'm terrible. And it's like, no,
Oh no.
that's very normal. Don't think of yourself like that.
And something just to keep in mind,
Yeah.
because I used to fall into that like a lot, especially early on, where you're checking like every couple minutes, like, oh no, like it's already been an hour, where are all my upvotes? But then you notice that some people, when they come on at a different time of the day, and I'll end up getting a majority of my upvotes when I'm asleep, essentially, right? Like, so it's people in a completely different time zone that are coming in to read my scripts and whatnot. So I'm like, just give it some time, right?
Yes.
Just don't even let
That
it bother you if you have very few upvotes, because again, certain content is not for everyone, right? Not everyone's gonna
Yeah.
love one script over another. I mean, and even you yourself might not consider works that some people enjoy the best of the ones you create. Because I mean, I look at some of my most upvoted scripts, I'm like, how on earth is this my most upvoted script? Like, I didn't put as much effort into this as I did, something else that I might have put in several hours, or I just took like, or I've had this idea for years and years, and I'm finally putting it on a paper, and it's getting less than 10 upvotes or whatever. While the one script that I just autopiloted got like 50 or something, right? It's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, like even though I'm not trying to say this in a bragging way, I hope it doesn't come across that way. Even though I am like a fairly popular scriptwriter, I think still even to this day not all of my scripts hit with people. Like my least upvoted script of all time has 2 upvotes. So if you don't get as much attention as you want when you first start out, don't treat that as like a death sentence because it's always going to be different for everyone and you're never going to be able to please everybody with what you make. So, kind of like how Blue and Leica were talking about earlier, as long as you're happy with what you make, that is the most important thing. Make something you would want to listen to or read if
Mhm.
you were, on that end of the stick.
Be the
And
change you
that'll
want to
help.
see in the
Yeah.
hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And oh, sorry, was
Well,
that all you?
I have a few things to say. I just don't want to interrupt you guys.
No, go ahead. I was about to change topic. So
Oh,
say
I
what
see.
you want.
Let me in, please.
Woo.
Definitely the writing your own niche thing. That's kind of why I started script writing in the first place, was to write the things that other people weren't writing and in turn weren't necessarily filling, but clearly some people like it. And one of my favorite scripts I've ever written has no fills because it would not make any sense to fill it, but it's just so funny. It's one of my favorite scripts that people bring up because I just laugh every time, because it's just like, why did I write this? It's so funny. And also, definitely time zones are a thing to think about, because a few of the VAs that have filled my scripts the most are in different time zones as well, like Germany and the UK and Canada, and the amount of times I'm about to go to bed at 11 p.m. or midnight, it's 8 a.m. for them, and they're waking up. It's like, oh, hey, how are you? I'm like, I'm tired. So definitely give it 24 hours and be understanding of people, because not everyone is willing to sacrifice their sleep schedule just to talk with people on different time zones. Not to say in a bad way, but that definitely for sure.
Yeah.
I also had an idea. Maybe we could grab a bunch of writers and who wrote their first script and then remastered that first script and make a video where we all kind of talk and maybe laugh about how our first script was written, and that might help soften the blow if we could send that video to other people, being like, here are these hotshot writers and VAs you might know. Here's their first work. Here's all of us laughing at it. Because that's just...
I feel like that would be a lot of fun. That would be an interesting podcast, actually.
Yeah, for sure. And I can definitely get that set up, too.
I think people would vibe a little more context than if we just had a resource that was like, look at these links. Because I know I was talking to someone about scripts a while back, and they were like, oh, I tend to just listen and not read scripts. And I'm like, but I love to just read scripts for fun. And they're like,
it is so fun.
I know, like,
yeah. Especially if you have to wait for fills too. What are you going to do while you wait for fills? Just not experience the script? It's
It's like, it's fun to read people's writing. It's great.
And the video,
but like not everyone will just sit there and, you know. I guess for a writer it is different to say like, oh well, I will read other people's writing to learn what I can do. But yeah, I think the video would be a great way to illustrate it.
Yeah, and then in the description we can be like, here is an archive of a lot of people's writings, and kind of a good way to ease into the resource if we have a video explaining and introducing it. I think that would be a lot of fun. I think you all would laugh at my first draft of a script because I'm kind of cringing at it right now.
I mean, we all cringe at our own work.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Very true. So
like the great YouTuber Alpharad once said, if you look back at your past self and cringe, it means you've grown.
Very true.
Oh, yeah.
Very true.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely some things to think about.
Yeah. And the one more thing I was going to mention, I didn't yet answer the question about if I would remaster my first script. No, I was just going to quickly say my initial answer was no, just because I think having it there for like historical importance is good, and B, because I like telling lots of different stories. I don't really want to retread the same ground if I don't have to. But I will say, if we do that podcast idea and we roast our first scripts and then compare it to a remastered version, I would write a remastered version for that. I think
good deal.
Not for the script itself, but more so that other people can see this is the evolution of Turtle Shark over time. You are not bad, I promise. You will be great.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think it would be a little jarring if it was a different script. So seeing a remaster of the same script of how we would write it 3 or 4 years from that point would definitely be interesting.
Yeah.
I think another interesting idea would, and not even just that, it would be cool to see what, comparing our least popular script to our most popular script as well.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that would be a fun one.
Yeah.
Ooh, definitely.
So it's like, why do people not like this? And why do
Yeah, it's
people
like-
like this?
Yes.
Comparing my script with 2 upvotes to the one with 65 upvotes.
That's
Let's
basically-
do it.
I am taking notes.
I feel like that's every podcast with Skittles. Halfway through, they just get new ideas. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I need to write
Just
that
get
down.
new ideas to add to the list.
There's a reason I have 300 script ideas. I catch on very quickly.
Oh, me too. Don't worry. I have
Yeah.
like multiple idea folders.
Yeah, that's the thing is that's part of why I don't get stuff done is I get so ambitious and excited that I just zip through projects.
Dude, understandable.
I am the fast turtle girl that is in a slow body.
You're doing your best, damn it.
Thank you.
Let's move on to our next question. So we're barely on the second question. Okay, so we are on question 3 now. So we're going to be at the halfway point. Are there any comments you received about your work that stand out to you? Do you have one that's particularly a favorite? So let's start again with Leica.
Oh my gosh. No. Definitely not. No,
Just no.
I don't think so. It's more it's not the people like I don't get as many comments as I'd love to get. But like more like you do start to see the same people and like some stand out because it's like, oh, this person, like there's someone on my channel who's commented on like every video, like they went through like everything, and I adore them for it. Like I'm just so deeply grateful. like you cared about my work to watch like everything. That's awesome. So like anytime I see their comments, I'll just be like, you are the greatest. Like holy crap. But like come stand out for the people a little more than what they say. People generally haven't. Y'all get comments exactly, Ziri, exactly. in chat, yeah. Like I'm very small time compared to a lot of people, and I don't mind. Like it just means that like every comment is awesome. Yeah, like there's. I don't really think anything's a favorite so much as like I will say though like a few times I've had people comment on like scripts and I've been like God, like I admire you as a content creator, like holy crap, what are you doing with my stuff? Like I don't want to like name names or anything, so it's more just like sometimes like the people who build my stuff, I'll be like, wow, I didn't realize you thought it was good. That's awesome. But you know, I just people are good actually.
We have
People are
favorite
good.
people instead of favorite comments.
We
True.
love people.
We do love people.
No one said anything particularly funny. I don't know.
The real favorite comment was the fans we made along the way.
Yes, of
Very
course.
For the
true.
friends too. But yeah.
We have made friends.
Yay, friends.
And I will say it's a lot of fun seeing the same people coming around and watching all the fills of your work and being like, oh, I recognize that name. I'm glad you like this too.
That too.
Yeah, I definitely have one person in mind where half the time when I look at a fill for one of my scripts, I see the same commenter in the comment section, and it's almost like when you like drive past someone you recognize on the road and you both look at each
Yes.
other for a second like, hey, and then you keep going on with your day.
Yeah,
For real.
basically.
Yeah.
Let's see. So let us move on to Skittles. Are there any comments you've received that stand out to you? Or maybe people?
So it depends. There's a couple. It's interesting because I also just had a thought, not necessarily I guess it's about any work, writing or otherwise. Something that I've recently been trying to come to terms with is being a voice actor in a series that one of my friends is doing. how popular that is on their channel, and therefore how popular I am in that fan base, it's very jarring. I was not used to that. The amount of love for a character and love for a series. I'm not used to that, and it not being the person behind it either. It's very interesting. It's like being a little hand puppet, I suppose. But I've always kept that in the back of my mind, the way people think about that.
That's really cool.
And yeah, and definitely the things that popular people said. Like one voice actor was like, "You are my favorite scriptwriter." That is very big, because having a favorite scriptwriter as a VA who does script filling for their literal job is a very high compliment, I feel like. And some of the things that bigger VAs have said to me have been so nice. Like sometimes I'll reach out to someone and be like, "Hey, you want to fill this script?" And they're like, "No, thank you, but it's really good work and it's very sweet," and that's always nice. Some people that have been like, "Hey, I just was in a rush to get a script and you were the only thing that came up. Thank you for writing this on such short notice." And all the people asking for part 2, all the attention and love it gets, it's so interesting. And some of the... there was one, I guess... There are a lot. I could probably go on all day about that, but I just love seeing all the little comments. It's a little jarring too. Yeah. I could probably, if I did a little more digging, I could probably find a couple. It's just interesting. More so like the puppet remark, because if you're the writer to someone's work and they're like, "Wow, this is such a good fill," and then in turn I don't know if that made a lot of sense.
I feel like there's a lot of times where, I think this was like a talking point that we had on a previous podcast of a lot of the work being attributed to the VA as opposed to the writer. So it's especially nice to see in the comments whenever somebody acknowledges the writer too. I always
Yeah,
like seeing
absolutely.
people post about, like, whenever it's one of my scripts and they're like, "Oh, it's one of Blue's scripts," like it's like, or something like that, or like, "Blue did such a great job with this." I'm like, "Oh, it makes me feel better."
yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it's interesting because like normally you are very much behind the scenes. Oh, also definitely one I do remember is Juniper Justice, because already had the Turtle Girl script, was really excited about that, and then filled another one of my scripts, and I went, "Oh my gosh, you keep filling my scripts, this is crazy." And then she was like, "Keep writing more great ones and I'll keep filling them." And I was like,
Oh,
you feel like a big deal in the community, this is so sweet. And um yeah, definitely one more thing is just the nice things that I got from Yubi, because she commissioned me for like a year. I
Wow.
definitely have to point that out. At least I think so. But I will talk about commissions later. It's a mouthful.
We can get to that. Let me see if actually, yeah, we'll probably get to that. Probably one of the next questions. But yeah, we'll move on to Turtle Shark.
Well, the first part of the question, are there any comments you've received that stand out to you? It didn't necessarily specify that had to be standing out in a positive way. There is one negative comment I've received that kind of sticks in my mind. not because it's like super outwardly aggressive or mean or anything. It's just kind of, I don't know. I think it's easier to explain it. So on one of my scripts, I got a comment from somebody, I'm not going to name who it is, and they said something along the lines of, this script is pretty comforting, but blank does it better. And it was some gibberish word. So like, is that some other writer or something? So I looked it up, and it was an AI chatbot website. And
Oh,
Oh,
that
Yeah, that's
no
really kind
way.
of
no.
stung. I was just like,
dude.
that's really
That's
like,
rude.
yeah, like why would anyone say that, honestly? Just I feel like
Mm.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
like, even if it was like another scriptwriter or VA, that would be weird. Like, why are you saying, like, oh yeah, you're okay, but this person is better? That's just kind of weird. But specifically making it like an AI generated website was really kind of hurtful. Because it's basically saying, like, yeah, this mindless robot can do this better than you, which was
Yeah,
not
Also makes me
very
wonder in
nice.
some cases, like
honestly,
unless you
like,
check the
name
actual
shame. I will
person,
show up at the
like
front
like
door
unless
in
if you check
Minecraft.
the actual person's channel or like the Reddit post, whether it's a bot that's posting that to try to like gain engagement for it, that's another consideration maybe.
Yeah, that might have been the case. I didn't check the channel. Once I found out it was like they were talking about a bot, it's just like, oh, okay, comment discarded. But I never
yeah.
really went back to it, but it's been memorable just because of how strange it was. Um,
Oh, this person is better, and it's not even a real person.
yeah. But other than that, I have gotten mostly very positive and kind comments on my work. Um, I used to screenshot every single compliment I ever received from people online. And
Oh,
I just, it was like,
honestly,
I
that's an awesome
really,
idea.
yeah, it's like, it's a good, like, kind of pick me up, especially in my early days when I was still very not confident in my writing. But I eventually stopped just because I kept forgetting to do it. Like, I would get so happy in the moment that I forgot, oh, wait, I have to screenshot this. And then I would
Mm.
have to catch up, and it eventually just became more trouble for me than it was worth. But I still have all those old screenshots, and they are really pleasant to just revisit. Um, like Skittles mentioned, a lot of people like will leave comments asking for part twos under scripts or script fills, and you know, I always appreciate that. But one particular request stands out to me. It was under a script fill of my Adopted by Artemis story, where, Artemis adopts the listener who's a little girl. And the comment was from a little girl who just kind of said she had a rough home life, but this script really helped her. And she asked for a part two in it. And that kind of really touched me. And I actually did end up writing a part two to that script because of that one
Oh.
comment. And yeah, it's always my main goal with my stories is to like help somebody. It's kind of my life philosophy, I guess. If I can make someone smile, then that day wasn't wasted. So it's really nice to
Hmm.
be able to like actually see people verbally saying, yes, this helped me, this made me, this made my day better, or this helped me feel less alone, which is really sweet. Um, I have three other comments I want to call out specifically. The first two, it was under a post like I was asking more specifically for constructive criticism, and I always ask for that under my stories, but people a lot of the time don't give it, which, is fine. People are busy, but constructive criticism does help. So I made a post asking for it, and I had a few comments that were very helpful. One of them kind of started describing like my general style, they said that I'll just read a little excerpt. It says, I feel that the unabashed positivity is a distinctive style that I associate with your scripts and also enjoy reading. It seems that your speakers often live in complicated worlds filled with recognizable problems, while they themselves strive to be uncomplicated and approach every day with positivity and optimism. And just seeing someone like care about my work enough to kind of look through it and find my style, quote unquote, was really nice to see. And it really sticks
Wow.
to me. Yeah. Leika, were you saying something?
No, just that's an awesome comment to get. Like, that's wonderful that people can like perceive you that way and be like, yeah, I see you for what you are and you're awesome.
Yeah, it was
Also,
really nice.
The way they worded it was really nice too. Lots of fancy words.
Yeah.
Sounded like a newspaper critic in a positive way.
Yeah.
I feel like some of those are my favorite sorts of comments too, the ones that deeply analyze your content and try to make sense of it. It feels like they care more. I feel like they're more invested than just hearing something like, wow, this was such a good story. I'm like, I want to hear your thoughts. You know, it's more interesting that way.
Yeah. And under that same post asking for criticism, someone said that I had, quote, mastered the format better than anyone else they had ever seen in regards to like how I format and write my scripts, which was another really nice thing to hear. It again was kind of the opposite point of the post because I was asking for criticism, but it was still really nice and just reassured me that I must be doing something right if people like my work enough to do this, to say these things. And the last comment I want to go over is it was actually a comment under my second ever fan fiction that I posted. And I bring it up because this one person wrote 4 paragraphs about my story. And they like quoted different parts and were talking about what they liked about it. And again, it was just seeing someone like engaging with my writing on a deeper level like that really made me happy and really made me feel more confident in what I was doing. Just kind of made me feel like, yeah, I'm pretty cool, you know? Which it was a nice confidence booster, and I love seeing people analyze my work in a more serious manner. Of course, little things like, you know, oh, hey, I really like this is still nice, but the ones that always stand out to me are the ones that engage with my writing on a deeper level. And I really appreciate that.
Heck yeah, you're cool.
Yeah.
Darn right.
Yeah. Also,
you're all cool too.
Oh, thank you. I also just had a weird one that I remembered, but it does stand out to me every time it happens. But do you ever like accidentally get misgendered?
Yes, I do sometimes.
I feel like that happens to me surprisingly, and I always joke about this with my name because like there's Chan in my name, but I feel like there's a lot of both VAs and people in the Discord server, and not even just here, but everywhere else, everybody thinks I'm a guy for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know what vibe I get. So maybe people think I'm a guy.
Yeah, a lot of people... Go ahead, Leika.
Oh, I was gonna say, I come from very traditionally feminine internet spaces. Like just like a lot of just like whatever fandom with a lot of ladies. So my gut reaction is to assume everyone on the internet is female unless proven otherwise, which is really funny because everyone will always be like,
great.
It's such a weird bubble to live in. Like I try not to assume in the first place, but like it's I don't know. I'm weird.
You keep doing that. It's great.
Hell yeah.
The reason I brought it up is because people keep thinking I'm a girl, but I'm gender fluid, and so I don't want it to stop because it's really euphoric. So for any writers who don't know who I am, yes, I am a girl. Totally.
Yay!
I don't know why. It's just like, oh hey, this is like one person did a whole outro and was like, oh hey, this script was written by Skittles Audio. Is she? And I was like, oh shoot! Oh, I don't know
Aw.
why. It's just so
Live your best life.
yeah, it's so nice and euphoric. So like, I'm not at all saying it's bad. I love it. I just thought I thought I should bring that up because that always stands out every time.
Misgendering parentheses positive. I'm confused.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly, Ziri. I am a gender plus. I am working on the femme side, but I like both.
Yeah.
True. I am candy flavored.
Yeah. And
It's like candy, one of my
I know
favorite
from my
genders.
I am a grape skittle.
Yep. Shout out to Grape. Got to be one of my favorite genders.
Oh, dude, it's such a great gender. I love it.
No, I gotta go for the green apple. Green apple's my favorite.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a good one too.
Oh, the sour Skittles too, the sour ones.
Yeah, those ones they do a good job with those, I feel like. It's the texture too, along with the
I also like the
actual
tropical
flavor.
ones, the blue, you know, like the blue package ones. Those are good too.
Yeah, for sure. Like the tropical.
Yeah, the
Is that
tropical
the one you're
flavor.
thinking of? Yes, those are so good.
They're so
Oh
good.
my word, I love them. One day I will review all the Skittles. I feel obligated.
That'd be adorable. Hell yeah.
That would be a good, 100 subscriber special. Just reviewing every Skittles flavor in a whispery ASMR voice.
Oh
Would
heck
be
yeah!
great.
I'm already halfway there too. I just need 43 more subscribers.
Oh, nice.
You heard that, guys. Get Skittles numbers up. Let's go.
Oh, heck.
Let's do
This
it.
is the time, and I
Wow.
always say this for all my podcasts. This is the time for us to do the shameless plugs. You know, gotta do the shameless plugs.
I have like 3 places I operate, so if you can somehow find all the places I operate, feel free to like them.
Remember, cyber stalking is okay when it's to support your friends.
Misgendering and stalking, positive.
Isn't that just stalking positive? That's just yandere audios.
Basically. But yeah, YouTube, Reddit, one-on-one podcast. But yeah,
Yay.
thank you.
We'll get to the one-on-one podcast questions soon enough. We'll get there.
Yeah, I know.
We're almost there. We're getting there.
Drop.
Let's
Drop.
move
This
on
is
so we
true.
can get there sooner. Okay, let me move on to the next question.
Oh, that's where we're at. Okay.
So we are on our 4th question.
Yeah.
Okay, so which script or fill is the one you're most proud of and why? Tell us a little bit about how it came to fruition. So we'll start with Leica. Oh, I don't know if you heard me. Leica.
Hello.
Oh no.
Oh no. You
Oh.
deleted
Oh,
Leica.
no. Leica
Oh, heck.
disappeared
Oh no.
into the void.
No.
Oh,
The
no.
mod powers are too strong. Also, Ziri is right. I forgot to say where to find people while we're.
Okay,
Oh,
Leica's
there we go.
back. Are you here? Are you okay?
Yay.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't hear Leica.
If you can hear us, say fish stick.
Stick. Hi.
Okay.
I,
Okay, you're
sorry,
cutting out.
my-
Okay,
Yay!
there you are.
dropped. My internet. I got a text that said there may be an outage in your area, and I
that's a
opened my
problem.
mouth to say something, and then everyone went quiet, and it was freaking.
Oh,
So
Oh,
I'm,
no.
no!
I'm good.
Okay, you're back.
I'm good.
Okay, so back to
It's
the
like
question.
Infinity War
Yes.
where.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, let's try to get through this before Leica disappears again. Which script or fill is the one you're
Sorry.
most proud of and why? Tell us a little bit about how it came to fruition.
Oh gosh. Hmm. Shoot. That's tough. Can we skip me?
That's fine. We'll move on.
Oh god. Yeah.
Skittles, do you
Like-
have an answer?
Honestly, I need to think about it a
No,
little
no
more.
worries.
Um,
We'll move on to Skittles.
Okay, so this is the one where commissions come in to play, because for about a year of my script writing journey, sorry, I just saw something funny in the chat from Not. For about a year, I would write scripts for UB audios, and it was a heck of a time. There are a lot of those I am proud of, and I really, really wish they weren't exclusive to her. I'm probably gonna remaster them and make them different so that I can still have them. I know that sounds weird and shady. I'm not trying to make it weird and shady. I want other people to have those scripts too, because they're good scripts, even for how my writing was back then. But I definitely have to commend Yubi, because she is literally half of my Phil history. One Phil that I'm gonna jump all over the place, but also one Phil that, what am I thinking of? Sorry, I got a little lost.
That's nowhere.
I'm getting Phils confused in my head, but there are a lot of really, really talented people who have done great work on my Phils. Yubi, I feel like where we both kind of clicked was a little bit after the Touch Starved Best Friend series. Like the only two Yandere scripts I've ever written in my career were for Yubi, and the Popular Cheerleader one, that was pretty good too. And this is probably gonna be very sad. For any VAs out there who have filled my scripts, I do not at all mean this in a negative way. But the script fill I've listened to the most is really bored ASMR fill of my Bully Needs Your Help to Fall Asleep, because it's a sleep aid, technically speaking. I don't know why, but that's like one of the only script fills I've gotten that I would like listen to fall asleep to. And that probably says something about me as well, because I don't write sleep aid that much, I guess, which is fair. Another one, the only person that filled my Departed Ways script, couldn't really have asked for a better first fill for that. It was very sweet, and the way she did the second character, I really, really enjoyed it. And I don't know if anyone else is going to fill it, but I just really, really enjoyed that one. And I was really happy with how that turned out. Another side note was just sometimes how fast VAs fill scripts is like sometimes you'll post a script and then in 20 minutes they're like, oh, hey, here's a fill you can listen to. It's like, how do you record so fast?
I'm
Yeah,
so
that's-
guilty of doing that
Our
to someone.
Yandere
but it was
stalker
kind of
VA
cool.
waits until you post your script.
Oh, that's good shit.
Yandere VA is your biggest supporter, ASMR.
Yeah, dude, literally.
Oh, that's cute though.
It's happened, yeah. It's happened once or twice, and it just always startles me, because, like, what do you mean it only took you 20 minutes? It didn't take you a day or a week to do? What do you mean?
Some people do one take and, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
That's fair. And honestly, I commend the people who can do it that confidently and just... I think the last person I will talk about, if I understood the question correctly... Oh, tell us a little about how it came to fruition. Fascinating. Is the fruition part about the script or the fill?
Either one, whichever. Well, probably your work, whichever one came from you.
Okay. Departed Ways was rough to begin with. That was New Things January, so trying new things for the first time. At that point in my writing career, the only things I wrote were like happy and silly stuff. And so I just threw a gut wrencher into the mix of a funeral. It's the story is you're in a friend group, 3 of you, and one of the people supposedly how do I say this without making people uncomfortable without they took their own life.
It's no longer
But
with us, perhaps.
yeah. They
Oh shit! My internet.
so one of the friends in the friend group took their own life, but it's actually a murder, but you don't find that out until the end of the script because a detective comes to the funeral. And so the 2 friends are left to comfort each other because one of them is gone and now you have to fill the space for each other. And it kind of turns into a love confession, but I wrote that one because sad. I hadn't done that before, and also it just reminded me of a friend that I had that took his own life, and just, the friends you take for granted until they're gone. I'm really bad at that. And that was one of the thank you. That was one of the first scripts I ever cried while reading and writing, and then cried again after someone filled it. And again, I cannot thank Celestial Audio. Cannot thank her enough for a great first fill. The way she did it, it was nice. The weight of the situation seemed perfect in that moment, and it felt right. It's like we were in the same room together, feeling the
also
same
sounds like
pain.
I guess like you were able to kind of channel like those feelings into the script, and it was kind of almost like a coping sense in a way, or it helped you to compartmentalize
Cathartic.
feelings.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I sometimes don't process emotion well. That's part of the nice thing with writing is that it helps you with that. The funeral was a very weird time because we had that, and then COVID lockdown was the next day. So the last social event I went to was when I didn't see anyone, let alone the person that we were mourning over. And so definitely did not get to process that until filled this.
Yeah, like writing and art in general can be a great way to channel your emotions. Like, even if you say write something and don't publish it, it can definitely help. So, I just want to say, Skittles, you did a good job, channeling your emotions into something healthy like this. And again, I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you. I didn't know you read that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one along with the other one, I don't remember the name I did for it. But I, for some reason, wanted to write 2 sad scripts, and that probably wasn't the best idea because they were both pretty rough. But no one's filled the other one, and so don't necessarily need to talk about it right this sec.
We're getting a lot of love for
I'll
you in
talk
the
quickly
chat,
about
Skittles.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, guys. It's been a while. I should definitely write something emotional again. That I forgot how much that helps. But I always appreciate you guys. You guys have always been there for me. There was a different time, but one time I was just having a full-on breakdown in the script guild, and all of y'all came flooding in with support, and that was really nice. Not necessarily relevant, but I should definitely bring that up because of how awesome you guys are.
That's the great thing about our community, like we're a bunch of very, emotional people who channel a lot of things that happen in our own lives into our work. So I think people resonate with that a lot more.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. It's interesting because we all came here for comfort, and now we're giving it to each other in more ways than
Mhm.
one, and it's really interesting.
I mean, a
Yeah.
lot of people in the server have been around since the beginning of the server too,
That too,
and
yeah.
I think it's kind of cool that we've sort of cultivated this. Like, even though we're not always all of us active, like if I can steal the question back, the
You can
fill
borrow it.
I will always credit as being like the fill of my script that I am most proud of is always like, honestly, like I will always just I'm in knots debt forever because like hadn't filled my silly mecha thing, like I never would have found you guys. So like like I'm not like, it's not that I'm like super proud of it. I'm just really grateful to it.
Yeah.
The fill that I've done that I'm most proud of is like all the times I do stuff with sound effects and no one notices.
Oh, dude, the little
But
sound
like no,
effects are everything.
Yeah.
The devil is in the
Like one of
details
my
for
old
sure.
hot takes, atmosphere is everything.
Yeah, I do remember you talking about that. There was this channel that you brought up, really good with sound effects as well.
I really need to do more with sound effects. Is the point? But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
was gonna say we're gonna let Leicas
Okay.
steal more of the question, or we're gonna move to Turtle Shark, whichever one.
Okay, I will steal just for one more moment.
No
Just for one
problem.
more moment.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I actually I have very little. Like I'm proud of, like, I don't do stuff if I'm not proud of it, and I'm generally proud of what um like, I don't know. It comes to fruition because I just push the post button. I just learned a while back, like, if you don't do it, it will never get done. So just do it. And it
Yeah.
doesn't matter if it's not perfect, because
Yeah.
you will, as long as you like something about it, you worked hard on it and it's good. Thank you, Ziri. I see the sound effects comment.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, go Turtle Shark, go!
Yay!
Let's go Turtle Shark.
Yeah.
That's my cue to start.
Yeah, my bad.
Okay. Make I made it the most awkward transition ever, but let's go.
Do the thing.
So yeah, this question I have two different answers because I'm proud of, well, I don't post a script unless I think I did a good job on it. You know, I don't ever want to post something that I felt like I phoned in. So, in a sense, I'm proud of all of my work, but as for what I'm most proud of, there are two different things that come to mind. The first script, I'm not necessarily proud of the script itself, not in the sense that I think it's bad, because I don't. But what I'm mainly proud of is the fact that I posted it at all. The script title, like in the document, was Team Player, and on Reddit, it's your friend comforts you after you were banned from the sports team. And
Oh.
I kind of want to keep this a bit vague and brief because I don't want to bring down the mood, but I am trans myself, and seeing like a lot of the news surrounding trans people and how turbulent it's been very scary. And this script has, a trans listener being comforted by their friend after they were banned for being trans. And I was just very scared to post it because even though I don't think human rights are political, a lot of people treat this as like a political issue and not a human rights one. So I was scared I would get a ton of backlash and a ton of hate from it. Thankfully that didn't happen. I ended up getting only supportive comments and very kind comments of people just, again, just being nice, being good people. But of course that's not how I thought it would go down, so I'm proud of myself for posting it anyway despite my fears of backlash. And my second script, the one I'm most proud of script-wise, it's Gosh, let me. All right, it's. Where's the title? I have it somewhere.
It's missing.
It's
We'll
missing.
find it.
I'll
We'll
find
find
it. Yeah. All right. On Reddit, its title, An Apocalypse Survivor Brings You to Their Bunker. And in the document itself, it's called Rescue in Ruins. Basically, I'm just proud of this one because of how much went into it. Like, at the time, it was my longest script ever. Now it's my second longest script. It has 5 different speaking characters, all with very contrasting personalities. And a lot of the script was just kind of me putting these characters with super strong personalities into a room and basically watching them bicker with each other, which was fun to write and I think entertaining to listen to. But I've always liked post-apocalyptic stories because it kind of shows the extremes of humanity, like both the best and worst that people can be. Stories in a post-apocalypse showcase that, and I think it's really interesting to dig into. So yeah, for this script, you have the main speaker character who's just kind of a general nice, good person who wants to help everyone. They rescue an injured listener and pull them into their bunker, which contains multiple different characters who all reacted to the apocalypse in different ways. There's one of them who was rich before the apocalypse and built this bunker and is solely focused on their own survival and only keeps people around because it helps them survive. So they are obviously not keen on having a new random injured stranger in their space. There's a scientist who is generally a good person, but also doesn't really care about ethics, and being in the apocalypse, there's nothing to really stop them from kind of doing whatever they want. There's basically the bunker's bodyguard who is just kind of lost all hope at this point and just kind of does whatever they're told because they don't really care anymore after everything, went to ruins. And then there's one character who's just like, well, it's the apocalypse, so screw it, I'm gonna have fun. This is my most vulgar character I've ever written, which I usually don't get very vulgar in my scripts because I just generally don't like it. But letting loose like that and having a character who just makes tons of adult references and swearing a lot was weirdly freeing. They were inspired a lot by Miyu from Danganronpa V3, who, if you know, she is certainly something. And a lot of that character went into mine. And I'm just proud of the script overall because of how these strong, contrasting personalities were able to come together and make what I think is a very interesting story out of it. So that's why I'm particularly proud of that one.
I feel also just the amount of thought that went into different character personalities and just how they would work off of each other, I think, kind of adds to that.
Yeah, I wanted everyone to have reacted to the apocalypse in different ways. So, some of them it's freeing, some of them it's constricting, others are trying to make it go back to normal, others don't really care about that. And getting all their different ideas to clash when trying to figure out, okay, what do we do with this new person, the listener, who's already in our space? It was super fun to figure out, and yeah, I kind of said mostly what I wanted to say. It was just really fun, and I'm proud of it.
We need the
All in only
30,000 word
30,000 words.
story based
Yeah.
on this.
Only took
Honestly,
30,000 words
yeah.
to get that done.
Yeah, just it's easy to extend the length of a script by making your characters argue with each other. That's something I found is very easy to do.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like, where does it end, Where does this conversation
Yeah.
just go back and forth between this?
It
Yeah.
never ends.
It only ends when either someone backs down or someone else breaks it up, basically. It's chaotic, but it's fun.
Indeed.
Some really good answers for this one. I'm honestly surprised at just how like extensive everybody got with this.
Yeah.
Here I'm just thinking like, oh, I like this one script. I'm like, you guys went like all out with this question.
Yeah.
That's what we do. We go all out. We yap.
True.
We're writers. Yapping is our job.
It's kind
very
of
true.
It's part of the. It's kind of just part of the package, you know.
Yeah.
Speaking of, is there enough time to talk about a couple more, or no? I don't want to take up too
how
much,
long
but
has it been? Actually, I can't even tell.
It is. It's been an hour and a half.
Hour and a half. Whoa.
We're about halfway.
An hour and 35 minutes.
Wow. Hour and a half plus 5.
I don't want to keep everybody here for too long, so like we'll try to move on to the next question, and then we'll kind of leave things up for afterwards if y'all want to add anything.
Okay.
So
just wanted to check in.
Our community topic. So this is something that I recently saw someone post about on Reddit, where they were talking about how to get their work seen, because they were having a lot of issues with their scripts not getting filled at all and people just not seeing them. So I want to hear what you all have to say in terms of tips, if you have any, about getting your work seen. So Leicas first.
Get good. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Just get smothered by the 2 yappers.
Look, my stuff doesn't get seen. So, like, my tip for getting seen is just put yourself out there and maybe people will see you. You know, like, social media is great. Like, you know, make sure you actually post to Reddit, because if you just drop your script in a Discord somewhere, like, not many people are going to see it. Maybe if you tweet about it, someone will see it. Maybe if you, like, I don't really think Instagram is great for growing your presence as a writer. But, like, you know, I mean, make a fucking TikTok. I don't know. Like, just experiment with getting get yourself out there so people look for you. I think, what might be interesting.
Yeah. Instagram is definitely an interesting approach. I've never heard someone be like, it's just, try Instagram.
You know, like, grow your socials, comment on other people's stuff. People will start noticing who you are. And they'll be like, oh, what have you done? And maybe they'll give you a shot.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, like Skittles, you were already talking about stuff here, but do you have anything else to add to this?
Sorry.
Or do you have any other things to add to the question? I don't know if you're just talking Skittles.
Wait, me or Skittles? I'm done.
Like, I'm trying to figure out. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to comment about the Instagram, and I thought that was interesting. I've never heard someone suggest, do Instagram, even if it was just a joke.
I didn't suggest do Instagram. I said Instagram would be weird.
that's what I mean.
Okay, yeah.
Like Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, my bad.
But do you have any tips, Skittles?
Oh, me, yes. What I've seen is that, and what I've been suggested from others, is that if you're going to post your scripts on Scripthaven and Talking Tall Tales, I usually try and do it like Friday morning in your time zone, because then a lot of VAs seem to find time to record it in the weekends, and then they'll go, I need to record something, what's fresh? And yours is close-ish to the top. It's a decent marketing strategy, too, for if you're trying to push out ads, I've learned, is that if the early bird gets the worm, there's meaning to the saying. Having a consistent schedule like Turtle Shark can probably help, too, but that's a big ask when it comes to writing. At least it is for me. Sometimes, and I got this one from Stormcoming, but sometimes you gotta take a risk and just ask someone if they want to fill your script, and asking people directly is how I got commissions for a year. That's how I actually met Lavender and actually got to talking with her for the first time. That's kind of how Not and I started, if I remember correctly. I asked him to fill something with his beautiful voice, and now it's turned into a fun little game that we do.
I feel like Not is just this ever-present person here in all of these stories that we're hearing.
He's the
He's
pillar,
such a
man. The pillar.
Yeah,
Is the omnipotent force watching over us all.
one of the four
All
horsemen
hail
of
the
very
void.
deeply voiced VAs. Also, he's just really chill, really helpful, and he likes to have fun with it. He's a very big inspiration of how to enjoy the process and do it well. And so if there's anyone I would ask for advice on of voice acting stuff, I would ask him for sure. And also, to avoid burnout, I would definitely say just write when you feel comfortable. I would put yourself first before fills. It can take a lot of time. Like, sometimes a VA will fill the script in 20 minutes, just bam. Other times it takes a couple months, but someone does actually fill it, even if it's a script you never would have expected. Also, a lot of people in Scripthaven do ask, hey, where are the scripts? And then you can go, oh, here's my master list. Talking with people and actively engaging is a good way to help with fills. Talking Tall Tales seems to have... It has less people, but they're more engaged people, if that makes sense. You get more upvotes per person that views the script. Like on Scripthaven, you could have like 1,000 views and only 5 upvotes. And then maybe 20 people view the script in Talking Tall Tales and you get like 7 or 8 upvotes. It seems more condensed.
I think also because it's a bit more new in terms of like script resources, just because I feel a lot of people moved from Scripthaven over there to get a better experience. So they're probably a little bit more active there.
Yeah, and it does show, I feel like. And honestly, one of the biggest things was trying to hype myself up with scripts. The ASMR Scripts Guild is honestly how I've gotten a lot of my fills and met VAs personally that have done a lot of fills. Like, yes, there have been a lot from Scripthaven, but the people that keep coming back to fill your scripts, a lot of them are from the server, I've noticed. Like, people that will fill 2 or 3 of my scripts, or 7 of them, all from the Script Guild. And so this is definitely a great place to reach out and talk to people. It can be intimidating because we're all big and scary, and sometimes we're in all our little cliques, but we don't... we're obligated to say it. We don't buy it unless you ask. It's like the number one thing said in ASMR scripts.
That's one way to put it. Though I definitely do see though that some people just are a little bit more shy to kind of start talking, because there are quite a few people on the server, and I mean, people have been around for years now, and so it's a little intimidating, especially when you have this space where a lot of bigger names also are just around chilling, and I feel like it's probably kind of hard to get into some combos for some people.
Very true. Yeah. Some of the most popular scriptwriters in VA is just sitting out in the wild, having a turtle and a shark in their profile picture.
I've learned to just stop looking at people's numbers, because if I do, I get scared to talk to them. But if I talk to them, then I find out they're huge. I'm like, oh,
they're
people. It's fine. And like, I'm small. I'm so small. I can't afford to not talk to people who are bigger than me.
Yeah, that's another thing too. So I would definitely say my big piece of advice is try and do it on the weekends because that's when people will record. But also being engaged in small communities, it can branch out a lot. Definitely not caring about numbers because they are people. Turtle Shark is not just 1,000 fills and 30,000 word scripts. Turtle Shark is a
30,000.
fun person to hang out with. Leica is not just a VTuber. She's a fun and chaotic gremlin to hang around. I'm not just a guy that sprouts ideas all the time. He has his jokes and it's like if you take a bit of the professionalism out, not taking it too seriously, it's a good way to get closer. And then you can maybe talk about it. I've gotten a lot more fills and talked with a lot more VAs just having fun and being friends more than trying to be like, hey, can you fill this? It's just you just do what you do and you talk to people, see them as people, just see who's online, poke around. We can get some conversations going. And yeah.
We're all just
And that's
goobers
one of
here on the
the-
server. That's just how it is.
We are.
Yeah.
That is literally. I think that's something people don't see is that BlueChan is probably the most serious person in this server. Everyone else is a literal goofball.
I don't know, am I? Maybe.
Blue is lovely though.
Well, yeah, no, I'm not saying
Blue
that
is
in a
the
bad
mom
way.
and we're the
I am
the
the mom.
rambunctious kids.
That's-
Yeah, that is the role. We are all little chaotic
I'm
gremlin children.
I'm the mom at the supermarket with the kids running around, and I'm just trying to get stuff done.
Literally, BlueChan is the one holding the leash as we're all the gremlins with the little backpack leashes. It's and it's a fun time, and don't be intimidated by BlueChan. They're not all that scary.
I try not
We all
to
have
be.
our fun.
Again, I do have to set my foot down sometimes with some people because it gets a little bit much. I mean, you've seen it. You're one of the mods too.
Yeah, it does get chaotic, and there is definitely the reasons, and I very much respect them. But
Like,
I like how
somebody's
you're just
gotta
not
be
saying
there.
someone's name specifically, but you're clearly talking about someone specific.
there are a lot of people to talk about specifically. There have been very big issues in the server that
There's a lot of stuff
I
that goes
have
behind the
also
scenes.
personally-
Let's just put it
I'm not
that way.
playing,
Things
I'm not
that
playing, I'm
aren't
just-
yeah.
things that don't show up
Yeah, I'm sure.
on like the front side of the server that come
Yeah.
up to us. We hear some crazy stuff. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
If there's a rule,
is-
it's probably because something happened.
Very true. Every rule is set because some goober tried to be too gooberish. That made a
They
lot of
sillied
sense.
too close to the sun.
It
Yes.
did.
Well, that's a good way to put it.
exactly.
Dragon
That is-
speaks. Me, the person, fairly approachable. Me, the server mod, be afraid.
Yes. That is down to a T.
I
And,
try to
yeah,
be approachable as much as I can.
So yeah, definitely shameless plug to the Script Guild server and Talking Tall Tales. Those are communities that I will probably forever be a part of and put my trust in. It's a good time.
Mhm.
Just take the risk, take the plunge, and see where it goes. I wouldn't worry too much about it personally, because stressing over it is a good way to
It's not a burnout,
not have it
basically.
work. Yeah. Burnout at the very least, and it also just seems counterproductive. Yeah. It's your turn, Turtle Shark.
Okay, Turtle Shark.
Quickly before I
Take
say
your
something else. Hurry.
One thing to build off of what Skittles said about how people will make comments on like the subreddits asking for scripts to fill. A lot of them will have specific requests, like say, "Oh, do you have any fantasy scripts for me?" or "Do you have any Neko scripts?" And I want to say an easy way to like have all that stuff prepared is to have more than one master list. What I do is I have one main master list that has every single script I've ever written. And then I have other smaller master lists for specific topics. So I have a master list for my fantasy stuff, a master list for my sci-fi stuff, a master list for my romance stuff. And that just kind of narrows it down, not only to make it a bit easier for VAs to find what they want and for readers to find what they want, but also if someone specifically requests a specific type of script, like say they request a yandere script, and you're like, oh, well, I have this whole list here of different yandere scripts you can use. It's a lot easier to get your stuff out there that way when you already have it prepared beforehand. Another thing I have to mention about getting people to see your work is sometimes catering to different niches can be helpful. Like, for example, I wrote an age regression script after one of my friends kind of came to me about it and told me that they do it. So this was kind of my way of like learning about it myself, but also maybe helping other people in that situation. And ever since then, like I've occasionally written more age regression scripts here and there. And while I will say there is a small but dedicated community out there for like this specific type of ASMR stories. So if you can find a niche like that, like age regression stuff or some other, like, I guess furries would be another community, or even like if you're an adult, certain kinks, if you can cater to some of that stuff, it could get you a small but dedicated following. I will say that's a bit risky though, because you don't want to pigeonhole yourself into just doing that type of content. So I would say if you're going for a specific niche, one, make sure you actually enjoy writing or recording for that niche, because if you don't, it's going to feel miserable. And two, if you don't want to just do that niche, then, space out your posts. Like, say if you put out one script a week, maybe make, your first script of the month this niche, and then the other 3 are something else, So you can have this community from that niche, but you're not 100% like stuck to it if you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And the last thing I want to mention is specifically for VAs. One thing I think could help your, audios stand out better is more unique thumbnails. Because a lot of thumbnails use like anime style characters or AI generated hot people, and like those obviously work, but I think getting a unique thumbnail style of your own will kind of catch people's attention, because when they're scrolling, instead of just being another image that blends in with the crowd, they'll see like a unique art style or a unique layout and be like, ooh, that's different. It'll like catch the viewer's eye and maybe get them to, take a second look at it to see if it's something they're interested in.
Yeah.
I have like so many things I want to comment on.
Yeah, me
The
too.
whole thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Go ahead.
hijack the
Yeah.
whole thing from Turtle Shark. First thing I actually wanted to comment on was what you were saying about having the multiple master lists thing. Something I think that works really well, and this is something I do with my own master list, and I highly recommend this, is if you're going to use something like Airtable, there's an option to actually make different categories of scripts. So you can have specific tags and say, oh, like these are my yandere scripts, these are my villain scripts. So there's actually a really easy way to do that on certain platforms. So again, for anyone who does something like Airtable, it's a really easy way to have multiple, I guess, mini master lists within your big master list. So
Yeah,
it is.
I was
it is
gonna
an option
suggest-
for people.
No, I love it.
Another thing was going back to another thing you said about people writing content that's, I guess, more popular compared to like sticking to niches or like doing whatever you wanted to do. I've seen people talk about this a lot where they say like, hey, should I write more yandere scripts and stuff, even if they don't really care for it? And I feel like, especially what you were saying, like the most important thing is it's not like, hey, don't write more yandere scripts. It's make sure that you enjoy what you're writing. And the reason why is because especially if you're going to try to compete with so many other scripts within a very popular niche, again, like specifically Andre, it's going to be very noticeable when you don't care about your work as much as anyone else who actually cares about writing yanderes, right? So why compete in that specific market when it's just going to end up kind of falling to the wayside in that sense, right? So if you're going to, I guess, compete in something, quote unquote, at least care about what you're doing. Otherwise, it's just,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like as I mentioned, my like age regression scripts, even though it's not something I do, I still enjoy writing those scripts. So I'm not like going, oh, well, I gotta cater to this part of my fan base now. I'll guess I'll push this out, because no, they will notice if your heart's not in it. So make
Absolutely.
sure, if you're trying to cater to a specific group, that you genuinely care about this category of content in some way. Otherwise, you're just going to make yourself and your fans miserable.
Very true.
And that other suggestion is that you made before about having a specific time, like where you write a specific genre and then the next week you do something else. That's already something I do in my own work, where
Yeah.
I'll write my usual villain script or whatever or something. And again, I love villain scripts, right? Like that's my niche, but I also want to write other things on occasion and kind of experiment more. So I kind of do a thing where I'll post something that's a little different and more experimental between my villain scripts or whatever else I'm writing, just so that I'm keeping that old audience, appeased or whatever, or at least giving them something that they're already used to me writing, as well as giving others a chance to look at my work or see something different. So there's ways to go about it, right? Like, you don't have to just completely cater to one thing, especially if your heart's not in it, because I mean, sometimes, I don't feel like writing my villain scripts, right? Like, I want to do something a little different. So kind of give yourself that time, but also, again, just kind of consider, why people are, like, I don't want to say, like, that you have to cater to a specific audience, but just know that those people are here for that reason. It might be the only reason that they're there. So you might not necessarily get as many upvotes. So I guess don't be disheartened by it, is the best way to put it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As I said, it's kind of a risky option because it's very easy to go wrong. If you like go all in on one niche and then you try to do something else, your audience who's just there for that niche, like some of them will transfer over, but not all of them. So that's why I kind of said, space things out, make sure your heart is in it, and all that stuff.
Very true.
Also, thank
Definitely
you,
agree.
Siri, that my villains are the benchmark.
They're really
that
great,
means a lot.
honestly.
Yeah.
I love your villain scripts. I still need to upload my fill of yours.
I would love. I remember there was one that you were gonna voice, and it actually ended up getting filled at one point. So I was happy about that. It was by somebody else, but
Ooh.
still.
Oh, I see. Interesting.
Yeah, it was. I remember because it came up on that one event that we had of the unfilled scripts, and then somebody ended up filling it around that time. That's what it was.
Yeah, that does sound
I
familiar.
was like,
Well, it's good that someone else filled it, because I'm
yes.
very slow.
No worries about that.
Yeah, that's good, though. I'm glad someone filled it. It's always nice during that event that just the scripts that finally get recognition because they've been in the dark for so long.
I also find it funny that
Satisfying.
when we did that event, I don't think anyone, like the most recent event of that, nobody in the server actually did it, but I got several people outside of the server voicing those scripts around the same time, so that was funny.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That is hilarious.
Same brain cell.
It's true.
I'm like, you guys knew. You guys knew that I wanted these filled.
Very true.
The collective unconscious is with you.
Yes.
I still
was
have,
not
I
pulling
still
the
have more. I'm
strings.
just gonna say, several of us have unfilled scripts. You gotta go check those out. Shameless plug.
Very true. We will shameless plug all of our unfilled scripts.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Find the Turtle Shark Lost episode and fill it.
Yeah. Anyone who's brave enough to try and fill my nonsense script, I'll commend you.
Y'all heard it here, guys. You guys, all those VAs in the chat, you gotta go fill our unfilled works.
Actually, probably remaster that one because it doesn't really make a lot of sense. But yes,
You gotta post it when it's done.
it's true. I'll think about that, but I can shameless plug later. It's a long story, both script wise and the making of the script. So
I'm looking forward to that.
oh, good.
Alrighty, now we're gonna
Looking forward to yapping.
on to the we're gonna move on to our unique questions, the personalized ones that will only be for a specific person. So we're gonna start off with Leicas. Are there any significant differences for you when filling someone else's script over your own?
Definitely. I feel like I care a lot more filling someone else's script. I'm more attentive to sound effect cues. I'm more attentive to making sure the wording doesn't change. Whereas with mine, like I'll go off script a tiny bit if I need to, or I'll just be like, YOLO. No one I'm not releasing this script. No one's gonna see a sound effect cue I missed. I always want to make sure I'm doing justice to someone's vision, as opposed to doing justice to my own vision, because I feel like I know my script already, so it's like, I want to do good stuff for other people. I want to make people happy with what I want to make sure, like, they're proud of their script. I want them to enjoy the audio that's derived from it, you know?
I guess that's a really interesting way to look at it, just because I don't know how it would be for me, but yeah, like I guess there's something nice about seeing other people happy about the work that you do for them.
Like I'm doing it so other people enjoy it. So I want to make sure it's enjoyable. So I want to, dot the T's and cross the I's.
Yeah, I want to say that's kind of a similar mindset I have, like, when I write for existing series. It's like when I have a script for an existing story or my fan fictions more recently. I feel like Definitely. I care a lot more about getting the characters right, because I know they already exist, they already have a fan base, so it feels like there's gonna be an element of judging in there, like, oh no, I did I did a blue script, but I wasn't enough of a villain. Oh no! Like I gotta
that's another thing too. Like I like that you bring that up, Turtle Shark, because I mean, you have an existing thing that you don't really necessarily have control over. So when you're writing your own characters, like I can do whatever I want with this character. Right? It's like it's gonna be correct because it's my character.
Yeah, you have like kind of the power of God in anime in that scenario, but otherwise it's more like you're you're working with someone's existing work, so you kind of, at least for me, I feel like I need to be more careful about what I do.
Yeah, just treat it a little respectfully.
Yeah.
Oh, Zero wants to shake you down for your AO3 handle, which I think was Turtle Shark, right?
Yeah, it should. I looked it up. It is just Turtle Shark the same way. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Turtle Shark.
No,
I just
it's
was
okay.
Curious and I just.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's Turtle Shark, capital T, lowercase URT, 1E, and capital S in lowercase HARK. So it's spelled the same way as my Reddit username. Currently, I only have Danganronpa scripts. Like I said earlier, with not pigeonholing yourself, I'm gonna branch out into other fandoms in the next coming months. So even if you're not interested, maybe keep an eye out. Shameless plug.
True.
Always the shameless plugs.
Yep.
Every time.
Every time.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to add more, like, to yours, since it was your question.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
It is indeed your question.
I respect other people. I don't respect myself. That's how I do it.
We need to respect ourselves. Come on. All right, Skittles, we're here for the question that we've been building up to all this time. So how are things going on with the one-on-one? Do you have any interesting plans for it? And are there any interesting guests that we might be seeing in the future?
I'm going to say right now that Nelson, if you're listening, without you, this question would not be as interesting because I had not been working on it until a couple days ago. I just get so distracted because it's hard to coordinate with 30 people. Yes, it's literally 30 on that, but oh my gosh, I'm so excited. It's shameless plug time. I also would like to take this time to explain it because some people didn't really know how it works. So the idea of the one-on-one podcast is it's like these sessions that we're doing right now, but instead of Bluechan being the host, I'm the host. And instead of Leica and Turtle Shark being here, there would just be Leica or Turtle Shark. There are two people in it. It's pre-recorded. We go over the questions beforehand. I've been trying to keep it to one episode of the podcast to send out. I don't know if that made a lot of sense, but that was how I tried to explain it.
Also, unfortunately, OBS kind of messed up for a second. It reconnected. Hopefully it's working.
Curses. I'm being shut out of my shameless plug.
No.
It really does not want you to spoil who's going to be on the podcast.
Curses. There are a lot of interesting people too.
Spoiler
Also, you
tagging everything.
True. Also, you find that on the ASMR Script Guild YouTube channel, by the way, one-on-one.
Yes. You're on the same channel that we're doing our current podcast on. And there's a playlist of all the previous ones.
Mm-hmm. And you hit like and subscribe, and then you get notified when I decide to actually work on it. It's just slow going.
I did see you reaching out to people in chat, though.
This is true. I've been working on it recently. Signups are in the server, by the way. There are a few requirements, but
it's pretty much the same ones that we have for this podcast.
It's the exact same ones, actually.
So basically being active, making sure that you don't have any like warnings in the server and stuff like that, pretty much.
Yeah. So if you were able to apply for the big podcast, you can definitely apply for one-on-one.
And we will hopefully be having more big podcasts soon enough. I'm going to be putting out a proper sign-up sheet for people this time around, so we don't have people signing up and not being eligible for it.
True. I will try my best to keep busy in the meantime, because I got like 2 or 3 more podcast ideas from this. But let's take a look at some of the names that you will see eventually on the podcast. So we have Kiri does random stuff. I've been working on that. She's been a little nervous. We have Defective Dispatch. It's Esme Jones, which, by the way, it took a long time to be able to convince them to actually sign up. And so when I saw their name, I was so ecstatic because I really, really want to talk to them. They seem so cool. We have Quartz Trio. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I think that one would be an interesting take because she is an artist and a writer. It's gonna be fun energy. Not Plus Zero signed on. I'm saving that one for later. Ashmoth Audio, Lavender ASMR. Let's see. There were a couple other ones. I've messaged everyone that signed up so far, and I need to do questions for a few of them. Some people aren't available until, like Heartwood VA, for example, that won't happen until next year. And yeah, I also, final boss Bluechan is on this list. I am very nervous for that.
I thought Not was the final boss and I was the super boss. I'm the super boss.
True. You are indeed. Hopefully not the final boss. I would like to interview everyone.
Yeah, not the final boss.
I also have a list of... yeah, see, the challenge there is going to be trying to figure out which one is the real Not. Because, yeah. I don't know if people have caught on to that sort of inside joke or bit or whatever it is we do since the last time I was on a podcast, but I can apparently do an impression of Not Plus Zero, and so that's been fun. We're definitely doing something with that, by the way. I've been talking to him.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see when it happens.
Yeah.
Indeed, indeed. For plans, I definitely feel like I'm getting back into the swing of things for the one-on-one. I need to talk to Nott about recording some more intros and outros, mostly intros. Plans for it, I'm mostly trying to keep it. I want to keep it consistent and bring some people back for interviews. It would be nice to keep bringing people back because people keep doing things. I also have a list of people that I would really, really like to interview. I just don't know how to nicely ask them to be on because they're like, I don't know if I have anything interesting to say, or they've already been on a podcast, and so it's a little difficult with that one, but I definitely have like a wish list of people to interview as well.
I say it's worth reaching out if possible.
Like I'm coming
Definitely.
for
I mean, huh?
you.
Though I feel like it's kind of going to be probably the same thing that we were talking about before, especially with getting our names out there. It's kind of the same principle of maybe just make sure that we're consistent about posting them so that people will get more interested.
Yeah, that's definitely the thing too, because it takes at least an hour to edit every single one of them because it's an hour long. But yeah, I emphasize the taking the plunge and being in the community because that was what I was scared of at first. I literally had to write 2 versions of a script to get myself to actually post and jump in. Had to hype myself up with my own writing. So it's a weird thing. But yeah, I want to see if I can get some big name creators on the podcast as well. Not to say anything about other people. But like, definitely one person I want to do is Echo, because creator of the server, it seems like very fitting to interview the person that brought us all here. It would be an absolute dream to ask the people that I watch and listen to every night if they can come on, but I don't know if that's realistic because they're not even in the server to begin with. I will definitely have to reach out to people through YouTube and through the server in general, see who would be interesting.
I mean, we've actually had a couple of cases where we brought people into the server for it. I remember way back when we were first starting this podcast series, like Ice Boy, who wasn't even part of the server, joined us because he found the whole idea of interviewing for a podcast. It's a lot of fun, so yeah. You never know, right?
And, that's true. Honestly, some people were like Yorubun VA. I would love to interview them. They just
oh my god, Yoru is so sweet. I bet if you asked her, she'd be so down.
Yeah, I just need to poke her. And
I know Yorubun's actually been on a list of people who we might bring on to the podcast at some point, to this podcast.
She's so cool and delightful.
Yeah. Oh, and also Limeburb VA. It would be so cool to talk to them as well. Yeah, because they've been helping me with voice acting stuff. That would be cool too. I should definitely make like a concrete list of people to ask because there are so many people that I'd love to talk to. Also, some of the people that have filled my scripts, that's definitely one I would love to talk to. Because there are some people in the server who have filled my scripts, and it would be kind of fun to just poke them and go, hey, you found me interesting. Want to talk about it? Especially because of the niches. And also, I would like to thank everyone who did trust me enough to be on the podcast originally. I tried not to yap too much. I can talk for like 3 people at a time anyway, so it's really nice to hear from everyone. I like going more into depth, and I especially love hearing about how you got into the space in the first place. It's been so interesting. Like, I really love Turtle Shark's story, and Mackenzie Mazing had a really good story too. It's been good fun. And I cannot wait to do that and also add new podcasts to the list. I'm not sure how they would tie
Skittles.
to one-on-one.
Skittles, you summoned her. Look at
Oh my
chat.
goodness. Wow.
Yeah, Mackenzie's here.
Mackenzie, you're here.
Hi. We were just
Mackenzie,
talking about you.
We were. All good things. Mackenzie Amazing, I love you. Oh, thank you. And one day I want to see if I can try and get the interviewees I've interviewed in the past to interview me, which seems weird and probably a little narcissistic. I don't mean it that way.
No,
I just thought it would be interesting.
Actually.
Yeah, just
like
be like,
one or two
hey,
questions from each person.
yeah. And I try and make it so that if people have questions for me, they are happy to ask them in the interview, but it would be interesting to be like, hey, you interviewed me in the past, I'd like to interview you as well, and kind of flip it a little bit. I think that would be fun, and I would definitely poke a few people. Wow, there are a lot of people I need to talk to. This is good news. Because this means I'm actually working on it too, because it's a process of talking to the person. They have to actually respond to me. Some people haven't talked to me in a year, actually coming up with questions and then scheduling a time, and everyone's busy. Also, I will say, one person I'm really interested in interviewing was this person called Tapio. He is not actually an ASM artist anymore, but they still are making a different kind of content, and I really want to talk about that because it's different. I like talking about different. That's why I want to get like artists on here and people who like Ashmoth Audio. I'm excited for because of his coding background, and like it's Esme Jones for the in-depth writing, and everyone has their different niches, and it's so interesting, and I find myself relating to some of the things, and it's so cool. I can't wait. I'm really excited. I should definitely schedule some interviews. I'm excited for those.
I'm excited for those.
So
I'm ready to rewatch more of those because I've watched all the ones that you've done already, and I've enjoyed them.
oh, you listen to hours of
Yes, of course I do.
yapping.
I have to.
Aw. Oh, I mean, you. It's either you or Ashmoth that have to upload them anyway, because I don't have access to the
I do have to upload
YouTube channel. So I guess you are obligated to.
Yeah, I have to.
But yeah, I'm
but
definitely
I also
excited,
like
and
watching them. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I will definitely see who I can poke. Oh, that would be a good one too. There are some people that have been mentioned in interviews as well that I could definitely see if I can.
It looks like Mackenzie wants to interview you.
Aw, hooray. It's good that the idea will work out. I will definitely talk to everyone about that. So all the past guests and future ones as well, I'm probably going to send you a message. Hopefully you don't mind talking to me, because I like talking to you. Yeah. What else can we interesting plans? Other than that, I don't really know if I have too many plans. I'd really like to get more questions for it as well. See if I can make it more in-depth, because I'm not sure what's going to happen to the podcast after I run out of people to interview. I guess it's this thing where you just kind of got to keep collecting people for interviews and cross-interviews back-to-back. Maybe having the podcast happen at the same time as one-on-one. Weird things like that. Maybe bringing people on for one-on-one to do different things that aren't interviews. It's hard to say, because it's an interesting concept, and I do have a lot of people to interview. I never stopped to think about what would happen once I ran out, other than I would just ask more people. I'll definitely have to take the plunge. But yeah. Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. I'm really excited for when you do post the next one, or whenever you send it to me to post.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna see if I can schedule that for tomorrow because Tapio is gonna be the next person for sure. I need to send questions out too. People will have to keep reminding me. Nelson, if you're here, keep reminding me. You're pretty much the only reason I started working on it again.
You can reach out to Nelson
Not
over on the server, or as Nivity, right?
for real. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh, improv challenges would be cool too. Oh my gosh, there's
that
so
would be
many things.
fun.
I'll have to write that down. Hold on.
Yeah.
Where are my
Gotta write,
podcast
down
notes?
all the ideas.
Yeah,
As
dude, I
someone
literally
who-
have. Sorry, you were saying Turtle Shark?
Oh, I was just going to say, as someone who has been interviewed by Skittles, the podcast was really fun to do, and listening to the other ones was really fun. So if Skittles
Well, thank
reaches
you.
out to you and asks you, say yes. And if you haven't listened to the other podcasts, do it, please. You will not regret it.
And also, definitely, if you guys have questions as well, please suggest them because I have a list. I'd love to keep adding to that list, and I try and have at least one specific question that's unique to that person. Like with Ashmoth Audio, I'm gonna ask him about his coding experience because I think that's interesting, and with Echo, it'd probably be about the creation of the server that's unique to him, and definitely want to try and find unique things that help other people stand out as well. I think.
Actually,
yeah,
another
it's gonna
question
be
would
a
be,
great.
what type of questions do they want
Yeah.
to be asked about themselves?
That is true. I do. That is why I bring up the questions because some people don't feel comfortable with questions I provide. Or Nightshade Queen, for example, was the one that suggested I ask about being half deaf, and that did bring up an interesting conversation about both of our love of subtitles because of auditory processing issues and things like that. So I definitely try and make it so that people can add their own questions that they want to be asked as well. And I leave a lot of leeway for more than 10 questions or less than 10 questions. I try and keep it flexible because I'm bad at time management. Also, Devil's Rose pretty much wrote all of his questions out for me, being like, here are good questions to ask me, because apparently he did journalism in college. And that was interesting to me too. So everyone has their own little niches, and it helps to get feedback from them as well. So yes, I agree, Ziri. Subtitles are the most important. That's why I've had them on the podcast as well, and they should be accurate. So yeah, good deals overall. So yeah, anytime I message you guys, please don't hesitate to yap at me what you would like to hear as well, because I am very flexible, and I very much want to make the interview about you and your experiences, and I will try and not talk over you.
Well, thank you again. Very, very excited for it.
Good.
We'll move on to the final question for Turtle Shark, and we all know which one this is. The most important question of them all, Turtle Shark. Do you have any new
Indeed,
hot
indeed.
takes for some RRPs?
Well, I had to think about this one because I figured just saying, no, told them all already, would be a pretty boring way to end the podcast. So I rewatched the old podcast to see what I already said and thought about it a bit more, and I have 4 hot takes to bring to you all. I'll just read them out one by one, and then we can discuss them, I guess. So,
Ooh.
the first one, I don't think this will be a hot take like among us, most of us VAs and writers, but for the general community, it might. My hot take is AI generated thumbnails are always a detriment to my enjoyment of an audio. Mainly, it's we talked a little bit about AI the last time I was on the podcast, and how, as it stands now, it is art theft and not very, pleasant. Just when I see an AI generated thumbnail, it kind of blends into the crowd because a lot of channels are using that now. And also it just kind of turns me off a bit more. Like audios may have given a chance if they had like, some sort of art drawn by an actual human. I'll see an AI thumbnail on it and think, no, I'll just kind of move on. And if I ever do enjoy an audio with an AI generated thumbnail, it's always in spite of that thumbnail, never like because of the thumbnail.
Yeah, for sure.
I would definitely agree with that. The only times that I
Yeah.
actively watch anything with AI thumbnails, unfortunately, are fills in my own work, and I have to tell those VAs, hey, don't do that, by the way. Or,
Yeah,
like, if
that's
you're gonna keep doing those types of thumbnails and that's all you're gonna do, then just don't do my work, because I don't appreciate my work being associated with what is essentially stolen content, right? So,
Yeah. And that's one of my rules I have. Like, if you fill the script, please don't use an AI generated thumbnail. That hasn't stopped people, but I also feel sometimes I get worried about reaching out about it because I don't want to like accidentally accuse a real artist's work of looking like AI, because that I feel if someone said that about my writing and said like, "Oh, this writing was clearly AI generated," I would be crushed. So I don't want to do that to someone else. So
I usually
it's a
start, yeah.
tricky tightrope to walk.
I was gonna say I usually start the conversation, like, if I suspect that it's AI, like, first I'll check to see if the person posted in their description where they got the picture from. And if they mention like an AI generator, like, then yeah. But if they don't mention it, I'll say, hey, can you post, the artist who made this picture or whatever, like, just to kind of push them in that direction, just to be like, okay, like, is this AI, or like, are they going to tell me that they generated it, or did they get it off of somewhere else? So I feel like that's kind of a nice little way to do it without being outright accusatory.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea.
yeah. I would like to say is that it's probably going to be a lot more interesting of a thumbnail if you find a creative way to do it. Like, some people just have text thumbnails, but they're still interesting. Like Dragon Speaks thumbnails, they're pretty good, even though there's no
Yeah.
anime character. I've been looking into some things as well. Some people have tried to do MS Paint. I've done figures on Hero Forge and tried to make characters in Animal Crossing. I've thought about a lot of other different art forms. It's gonna take longer to make a thumbnail than to just throw it in an AI program, but it's a lot more worth it for the unique effort and the passion behind it. And the audience will definitely recognize that, I feel like, because I've gotten comments on my thumbnail of the like little clay characters because I made it with Hero Forge. It's a D&D figure making program, and I made myself and Kiri in it for our collab video, and I really like that thumbnail because it's just fun to make little characters. So be
Yeah, and
creative.
it kind of goes back to what I was saying about like getting your fills seen if they have a unique thumbnail style. Like, to this day, the style for Juniper Justice's thumbnails stand out to me because she
Oh, those
hand
are
draws
so
her
good.
characters, and like all of her humans don't have eyes, but it's such a simple art style that it comes across as very charming. So whenever I see that thumbnail, I'm instantly like, oh, that's a Juniper Justice audio. Whereas some other channels that, use more, I guess, generic art styles, they kind of blend in with each other. And AI
Yeah.
is definitely the worst case of just everything blends together and feels the same.
I want to take this
Yeah,
moment
they're
to bring up a
yeah,
person that I
yeah.
mentioned, like, before when we were prepping for this podcast. Shout outs to Modern Day Mage for actually drawing every single one of his thumbnails. Like, that guy's a
Oh, they look
Oh my
beast,
so
gosh.
honestly.
good.
Yeah.
I am so impressed
Yes.
by his
Yeah.
work
I
ethic. I'm
love
just gonna
seeing
put it
the
out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, those ones are so nice. I love seeing those. Also, Ziri, absolutely make a P crew if you feel up to it.
Yeah.
I
Pit
definitely agree. There
crews.
are a lot of people.
Yeah, pit crews
Yep.
and like video game character creators are excellent, simple
Mm.
ways to make a ton of unique, different people and faces for your thumbnails.
Yeah.
Also, I
especially if-
agree with. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, especially if it's a game you play a lot and you know the customizer very well, and if you're like, if you have a Nintendo Wii or like a Nintendo Switch and you just like making Mii's in there, just try and make a Mii of the character. You'd be surprised of how many ways I could make Not plus Zero. I've made them as. We can talk about that later, but yeah, it's just you keep finding unique and interesting ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, someone else was talking.
Well, I was just gonna say dark and vectors and free stock photos, and I'm always down for stock photos, like as long as they're monetizable. Absolutely, like I tend to use stock photos for backgrounds a lot, and just like use my model for other stuff. And I'm still trying to find a style that I like for thumbnails, but
yeah, for sure. Yeah. Nothing wrong.
And that's what stock photos are there for. They're there for you to use.
Exactly.
They're to borrow with already given consent instead of theft.
Yeah, I got it.
That's the important thing. Don't worry, Dark. I'll share those. I just need to work on a couple of them. I might bring that up with Knott's interview. Just being like, hey, I made a bunch of fan art of you, by the way.
Yeah.
I wonder if cosplays would be a good thumbnail
Ooh.
too.
No.
No?
I feel like a cosplayer's likeness might be awkward.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like if it's you doing the cosplay, sure, but like if you're just like, oh man, I found,
Oh yeah, no, like you doing the cosplay. Yeah. I brought that up because I have a Not plus Zero cosplay. That's why.
Oh shoot, that's awesome.
That might be a good take. Yeah, I'll definitely have to send pictures. It's a lot, but yeah, definitely find creative, unique ways. The more creative, the better. Let's see what you got. If you can write an interesting script and fill a script in an interesting way, you can definitely think of good thumbnails.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say, like, even if you just draw stick figures on a paper background, like, it's simple, but I've never seen a channel do that before. That would really catch my attention. So you don't have to be, like, a quote-unquote good artist in order to make good thumbnails.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Also, if anyone genuinely wants to do that, I have a script for you for stick figure art, so definitely take it into consideration.
I actually have this idea on my script list that it's been there for a while, and it's kind of I don't want to say it's a joke script, but I feel like this would be kind of a good potential idea to use, and it's basically like your poorly drawn like husbando waifu character comes to life.
Yes,
like your fan art comes to life.
That's like a perfect excuse to introduce the unique art.
That
perfect.
Immediately. I mean,
yes. Oh my gosh, please. They'll fit perfectly.
I'll write it one day. It's on my list.
Yes.
Story of my life. I'll eventually get to that idea.
I have a big Google Doc of stuff that I wrote, like a bunch of ideas that I wrote like years ago that I haven't even touched. It's there. I'll get to at some point.
I'm still to this day getting to some of the first ideas I wrote in that document. It's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I like putting mine on Google Sheets because they have a to-do list template, and so it's just like to-do list, ASMR scripts, and then I just click a checkbox when I finish writing it, which is never, clearly. 300 ideas later.
Like that.
Yeah. We're getting there, though.
So if that's all we have to say about that hot take, then I'll move on to my next one. This is another thing I don't think will be a hot take among our group, but for like the wider human population, definitely. ASMR is an artistic medium just like movies, books, and video games, and should be approached with the same mindset. A lot of people view ASMR as like, they associate it with just NSFW stuff and just someone like whispering aimlessly into a microphone for 30 minutes, which of course some of that is there, but like I kind of mentioned the last podcast, whenever people ask me what I do, I say, oh, I write radio dramas online. And ASMR role plays are very similar to radio dramas, and I don't think you would ever find someone who says, no, a radio drama isn't art, because it absolutely is. And I treat writing my scripts in the exact same way. I treat it like me making an art piece, not just, and I don't say that in like a snobby way, like, oh yes, I am a fine artist. I'm so above everyone else. Because no. I treat it in the same way I would treat, drawing a picture or painting something. Like, it's a fun, creative piece that I'm putting out into the world. And I definitely like to engage with ASMR on that same artistic level.
Yeah.
I would argue that,
a lot
like,
of
I know you
people-
mentioned specifically comparing to ASMR, but honestly, I feel like it's still an issue for video games that some people just don't consider it art, even though I feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
it definitely
Yeah.
is.
that
Yeah,
too.
Like, there's
yeah,
obviously
for
going to be
sure.
slop and stuff out there, but it's definitely a genuine medium where you can utilize like some really creative ways to tell a story. I mean, like, very recent example, I don't know how many people played this like here in this community, but Expedition 33, really great story. I highly recommend looking into it even if you can't play it. That's kind of a very modern take on, hey, like, we actually bothered to write a story and tell an interesting story through the video game medium. And I feel like there's a lot of unique ways that you can do that you can't really get from something like, for instance, a movie, because I think control, or like being able to control the character, is part of telling the story, honestly. And you can do a lot of cool things with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, I don't want to derail this into talking about video games, but I want to mention specifically one game. It's older. It's called Spec Ops: The Line. And it was designed to look like a super generic, boring military shooter, like your Call of Duty, your Battlefield. It was made to look basically exactly like that. But the story is all about criticizing the main character's hero complex and how he wants to be seen as a hero even though he like doesn't do much good. And the gameplay really works into that. Like, at one point in the story, you find a man who's being strangled by a rope, and like, as the player, the game never tells you this, but you can save him by cutting the rope and letting him free. The game never tells you that. So that kind of plays into the main character's hero complex, where if you don't save him, it kind of proves that this character is not as good of a person as he thinks he is, because he could have saved that guy. He chose not to. It's really interesting. And to bring it back to ASMR role plays, like, that's a unique medium in and of itself. There are certain things you can only do in this medium that wouldn't work in a book or a movie, for example.
Yeah, like, especially the one unique aspect of ASMR is the fact that, or at least in the audio role plays that we do, is that there's really only, in the most basic form of a role play, that there's just one speaker and a listener. So you kind of have to work around those limitations where you just make assumptions about what the listener's thinking, right? Or whatever they're saying. And you can kind of work, and I actually mentioned this a little bit in the video that I made for getting started for beginners in script writing, is that you can either give the listener more autonomy, or you can take that away by making them have implied unique answers that the speaker will imply they'll have said, right? And so you kind of have to work around that, and it's kind of a push and pull, and really up to you whether you want to give that autonomy to your listener or not. So there's a lot of things you can do with it that you're not going to be able to get from, say, a book or movie, because there's more distinct characters there, whereas you're playing to somebody who has their own thoughts and feelings that may not necessarily be the same between each listener, right?
Yeah. And it's like the
Yeah.
whole it's like limitations breed creativity. That's what I'm trying to say. And the limitations of this medium mean you have to get creative to work around stuff. Because in a book, you can just straight up say, what this character is thinking. But in ASMR, you can't just tell the listener what they're supposed to think. So you have to, again, do that sort of implying their answer and working around it. And it's really interesting and unique.
Yeah. It's very interesting how different stories can fit in different genres that wouldn't necessarily fit in other ones, because I can think of a lot of scripts that could be movies and books, but they just fit better as scripts, and it's hard to not call it an art form when it's so unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I feel like we're all just gonna agree on these hot takes.
yeah, as I said most of my hot takes in the first podcast, so I'm trying. But these next two keyword might be a bit more hot. First one is narration has always taken away from my enjoyment of an audio. So when a VA narrates certain actions or what's happening, which I've seen before, I have never come across an example where I enjoyed it. I'm sure there's some example out there. I don't want to completely write it off. But personally, it has always taken me out of the experience. And at that point, I no longer feel like I am a character in the story. I feel like I'm listening to an audiobook that just isn't complete. And that kind of takes into account, what we said about the limitations of the medium. Narration is one way to work around that, but personally, I have never found it enjoyable. Even if it's just a little interlude at the beginning of the audio, still it kind of takes me out of it.
I feel like that's what sound effects are supposed to be for, right? I mean, that's why we add them to make implications for what's going on.
Yeah, and as I said, I don't want to yuck anyone's yum, but I feel like most of the time when I hear narration, I think, okay, that could have just been a couple sound effects to get across the same thing while keeping me immersed in the scene. Or okay, you could have just had the speaking character just say that, or say something along those lines. It didn't have to be an omnipotent narrator, commentating the listener's life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless that's the premise itself, where the narrator is the character.
Yeah, unless the speaker is the narrator, then I don't think it would work very well.
So how do you feel about when people voice their outros? When they have something at the end, it kind of...
Yeah, I mean, outros, those are after the audio is over. So I kind of see it in the same way as I see credits in a movie. You're not supposed to be immersed during the credits, but you're supposed to be thinking about what you just watched. In the same way, when I hear an outro, I'm thinking about the audio I just listened to. So.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of outros, I apologize. I actually just realized the time, and I kind of need to get going. But it was amazing being here with you guys.
It was very great having you.
I think your outro was a great segment. It was wonderful. I love all you guys, all you people I'm talking with, listening, and I will catch you later.
Thank you for being here.
I love you.
I love you.
All right.
Well, I guess we'll try to move on to the last one, and this will be the last.
Yeah.
we bring up.
Yeah, I have one final hot take to talk about. This one is, I want music to be used in more audios.
Oh my gosh.
This kind of runs counter to my previous point in a way, because I said narration often takes away from my immersion. And, having, for example, background music scoring a scene that isn't actually there in the moment. you would think it would do the same thing and take away from my immersion, but it kind of feels like background music in a movie where I guess I'm just so used to it that it feels natural to be there, even though logically I know, like, oh, the speaker is confessing to the listener. Obviously, there's not an emotional swelling score in the background, but in like this sense where they put it there, I think it just elevates the scene. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a reason why movies are scored, and it's not just because, Hollywood executives love paying composers, because they don't love paying anybody, but it's because
Yeah.
the music actively like adds to the experience. And I know it's not going to work with every audio. There are going to be some audios where the whole point is to be immersed and background music would take away. But I especially feel in more story focused audios that background music should be used more and can really elevate both the writing and the voice work to a whole new level.
Yeah.
I think it works
Sorry, I
especially
got
for
really
like
excited about
fantasy scripts and stuff.
Mhm.
Like, because compared to something like, a sleep aid or whatever, like, I'm pretty sure most people just want to imagine, hey, I'm here, like, lying in bed talking to a friend or something, and I don't want some kind of, like, additional music playing in the background and making me think, like, oh, like, well, it's like this feels more like a scene as opposed to something that's happening in real life. But then when you have something again more interesting, like again fantasy world setting, like action, I feel like it adds a lot more. And I've actually seen some people make different comments on this. I remember Knott's actually added, going back to Knott the ever omnipotent presence, but he's added music to some of the videos that are of his fills of my work. And I've seen different
Mhm.
reactions to it. Some people say, oh, like, this is really cool that you added this, or some people say this completely took me out of the video and I can't watch it. So it's definitely a hot take, I will say, in the community. And I think it just really depends on what the person who's watching it is trying to get out of it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
if you're looking for a like super immersive like experience where you feel like you're right there, music can take a lot of people out of it, but at the same time, like watching a TV show or a movie, oftentimes I hear background music and that doesn't like take me out of the scene. I think it's just a mix of personal preference and how well it's executed. Because like everything, a concept is one thing, but if you can execute it properly, that's something else entirely.
Yeah.
I think it's
Definitely a
worth experimentation.
balance, I would say.
Oh yeah, go ahead,
Yeah,
Skills.
Yeah,
more
for sure.
experimentation, evolving the
Sorry.
medium.
Let's think. Yeah, go ahead, Skills.
Mm.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. No, it's all good. I just got so excited because we were literally talking about that last night with Nightshade Queen wanting to add music in one of her audios, to the point that we were all thinking about, like, we should just have an orchestra at the ready whenever we need music for something, because it feels kind of frustrating almost that when we do want to add music to audios, we don't have as much of an opportunity because some things have a copyright on them or we can't get a specific thing. But I definitely would be a fan of adding music in there, because one of my projects I want to do was a musical. And like, not a musical, it's an opera, an ASMR opera, ASM opera, I think I called it.
Yeah.
And I was wanting to add music into that and make it a whole big thing, and it was going to be revolutionary. And also, I have a friend, Lilelia. She'll write her own music for songs sometimes, and it's nice to see the creativity in the music to add just in the background. And it's very fitting when you do it right, because I've heard some people do it and they do it in an interesting way. It's not necessarily bad. I personally wouldn't have done it if I was making that audio, but I am very much a fan, and I want to try and contribute any way I can to making music and audios more accessible. because that definitely sounds like a fun thing to experiment with. And I think if it was a more open resource, then we could use it more often.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
kind of
like
an issue. Like, again, finding music that's not going to bring up the copyright problems. I mean, YouTube does have some that you can use and whatnot if you add like credits or whatever for it, but then all of them just kind of end up sounding the same, and so you're kind of limited by what you're allowed to do. And that's probably why some people don't add them to begin with, just because there's probably going to be problems.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing, is like, it's not a very open. There aren't a lot of songs that are for use, and the ones that are, it can get repetitive, and so it would be nice to take matters into our own hands, and I don't think we have a way to do that yet, or we haven't talked about it, but it would be
yeah.
nice to look into, for sure.
In a
Could you
sense, we're
imagine?
sort of like in the silent film era of ASMR role plays. Like, who knows? In the future, it might be commonplace to have like a bunch of people volunteering to, or, commissioning themselves to like score ASMR role plays in the same way that movies do. We'll have a big multi-million-dollar ASMR role play. You go into the theater with everyone else, put on your headphones, and just sit through it like a movie.
You're gonna have
Who
a
knows?
4D experience.
Yeah.
That would be so cool. And oh my gosh. If I ever figure that out, I will definitely share it with the community, because I've been digging a little bit. Because I mean, it was kind of similar to when the ASMR, when Xena Alexandria had that server up, and she had a list of thumbnail artists, I think, that she just kept on hand. It would be nice to have that, and I will definitely try and look into that, because there are a lot of people who would probably be willing to just volunteer their musician skills every once in a while.
Maybe one day.
Yeah. One
For
of the
sure.
exciting things about this medium is that it is still fairly young and fairly new, so there are a lot of different ways it could go from here, a lot of ways it could evolve. And I'm excited to be a part of that in whatever small way I can be. It'll be
Yeah,
fun to watch.
definitely.
Kind of bringing this back to what we said before about, we all started at some point, and there's people who probably want to get into this medium that are kind of scared to, because they don't feel like their work is, I guess, up to par. And so I think it's kind of up to us to be there to say, you know what, this is how we started, and this is how we can get you started on this. And I think it'll help the community grow a lot more if we make ourselves accessible along with the resources.
Yeah.
Yeah, and kind of diversifying the resources too, because there are a lot of people in the server even who are like, I don't really know how I can contribute because I don't write scripts, but they're artists and they're coders, and maybe they play an instrument, or they just know something about the algorithm. Everyone has a talent that we could use if we just find a creative way to do it.
As cliche as it is to say, everyone is special. There's only one you in the world, and you have something very unique to offer it. So just everyone out there, don't ever think that you can't do it, because you absolutely can if you put your mind to it. That's my
For sure.
motivational quote of the day.
I
And
mean,
if,
it's hard
you
to.
don't feel like you have anything, I'm here to tell you that I'm trying to take over the ASMR community by injecting more villain scripts into it. So please join my army in doing so. We need to take over the Andres.
See, villainous infection.
Collecting
It's been
minions
working
now.
too.
I'm collecting minions.
Exactly. Yeah, we influence it all in our own little ways. You could ask anyone here; they'll tell you.
And
Ooh.
yeah, who knows? Like, sure, maybe what you put out there will You know, maybe it won't be the biggest thing ever, but again, as long as you're proud of what you do, that's the most important thing. And who knows, like, when Charlie Chaplin started doing films, do you think he thought he would still be talked about, over 100 years later? Probably not, but he's, one of the biggest names in the history of the industry. So, yeah, you might be a small fish, or you might be a new, like, legendary figure that historians will talk about. You never know until you try.
Very true. You never know what's gonna turn into your legacy. It's hard to know until you start.
Yeah.
And of course, don't always assume that things are just going to work out in the beginning. It takes a while. A lot of us have been here
Yes.
for several years and we've just been perfecting our craft over time. It didn't happen overnight.
Here's to
Yeah.
our 3 and 4 year anniversaries as little goobers.
Woo!
Life has very interesting twists and turns that you definitely don't expect.
Exactly.
I think that generally wraps this up. We've been here for 3 hours.
I mean, that's
Hey,
what we're
it was-
normally here for.
It was shorter than the last time I was on
It
here.
was. Weren't you here for like
Oh, that
4
is
hours
true.
or something?
Like, I think it was 6.5
Oh, it might have been.
hours.
Who knows? We were here for a long time.
Yeah.
But at least it was
was-
shorter now.
Yeah, to the point where Tofu VA was like, can we please just stop
Can
and
we
go
just-
home?
That's forever
Yeah.
gonna be the longest one. Probably. It's longer than the anniversary one, which had more people
Oh
on it.
my word. Hey, don't make it a competition. I'll interview myself and go for 24 hours.
24-hour stream.
I'll read
I
my
could do it.
30,000 word script live.
We are
on
ready
Oh
for
my
that. We are ready for that.
But you just do it at like 1 word per 30 seconds. Just 2 words a minute.
Just give everyone time to let every word sink in.
You're gonna be like an
It's an
English teacher. It's
artistic
just like,
choice.
what did that word mean? What did it signify from the writer? And everyone's just like, we're so bored.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Yes, we will find ways to make the podcast longer. Don't test us.
But we do have other ideas for future podcasts that we discussed earlier, so maybe we can talk more about that in the server. And for anyone who is not part of our server yet, we are the ASMR Script Guild. You can actually find a link to our server on our channel. It should be over on the profile or the front page, whatever it is. Hopefully, if not,
Yeah,
you can
do
reach
have to
out
go
to
to
me
the
on
front
Reddit
page.
and I'll give you a link. Again, it's BluechanXD on there. I just posted a script over there anyways, you'll find me. It's fine. You will
you can
find me
just-
on there.
Yeah.
But it was great to have you on. Also great to have Leica, who had to leave a little bit earlier.
This is sad but true.
But still, like,
Yeah.
I'm glad that you all were able to be here again, especially because you guys were the ones that have been asking to come back several times already. That's why I wanted to do
I
this in the
can't
first
help
place.
Yeah.
Because I
I
really do
like
want to
being
use the
answered.
podcast to bring on new people, and I hate saying no to old members, but I'm like, here's my time to let you guys come back and talk. So
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I totally get it. New people take priority. I'm just always here for, like, hey, if you ever need a spot to fill, pick me. I can
Same here.
extend the runtime.
for
Yeah.
several hours.
And hey, there's a
We
reason I
tried.
started my own version, because I love it
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
Well, I'll probably
Yeah, it's
bring
always fun to
people on again at some point, if I don't get enough people. But we've had a pretty steady flow of people asking to come on, so hopefully this
Oh,
next one
good.
that we do will have some interesting faces on there. I know there's been several people signing up that have been wanting to join for a long time, and I haven't really been able to slot them in. Again, Yoruban was one of those. Hopefully, at some point. But anyways, again, thank you both for joining. It was a pleasure having you here. Do you have anything else to say before we leave? You want to do your shameless plugs?
Just quick question. Do you know how far out you want to do the podcasts? Like if you had an expectation like one every 3 months, one
Oh,
every
it
four
really depends
months,
on
or
my schedule, which changes all
yeah,
the time. So, and then things like me getting sick happen. So that's why we had
stop
to push this
being
other one
busy.
before. So, but
Life
we'll
always
see.
Man, you
We'll
gets in
see.
the way.
Yeah, life
yeah,
gets in the way, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Hopefully within the next couple months, I'm gonna try to reach out. Maybe within the next 2 months or so, we'll see at the earliest. But I'll try to get more people in. But yeah,
come on, have time for your children.
any other things you want to say before we leave? Yes, no.
Um, I
Well,
I guess
yeah.
I'll
So I
do
just
my
want yeah.
who's going first?
I'll let you go first. I've been shameless plugging for half of the stream.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna put in my shameless plugs. I am Turtle Shark spelled the same way you see on screen on both Reddit and AO3 or Archive of Our Own. And I am Turtle Shark ASMR on both Ko-Fi and YouTube if you want to check me out. And just in general, thank you for having me on. I love talking about this community and this art form that I'm very passionate about. And I'm really excited to see, future podcasts and see who shows up next.
And if you all here in the chat want to join us, again, we're gonna be posting about it probably within the next couple of months over on the server, and I'll do a server ping like I usually do. And you might be able to join in if you fit the criteria for people who are able to. So
We're gonna get you.
we'll get you. We'll get you.
Yeah, we're gonna ambush you and
Yonder a blue kidnaps you and puts you on a podcast ASMR.
I remember you posted about that like forever ago.
I would be
channel.
I would be one of the willing listeners.
Yeah.
Willing listener.
Hey, that's me. Hey, I love a good podcast.
Yeah. Anything you want to say, Skittles?
Yes, time for my shameless plugs. But also, you should go check everyone out. BlueChan writes pretty much the best villain scripts, and
Thank
she's
you.
slowly infecting everyone else to do the same. And so, if you love villains, BlueChan is definitely a good place to start.
And I did post a villain
Turtle
script
Shark.
today, by the way.
That is true. Right before the podcast, I saw it with my own eyeballs. It is
Perfect
right
timing.
here. Yeah, indeed. It is right here in the server. Villain uses the power of love against you.
Yeah, go check it out.
Very interesting. For sure. Yeah.
I'm very intrigued. I need to read it after this.
Yeah, me too.
We'll close off then, so y'all can go read it.
Yeah. Definitely check out the YouTube channel, the server. Check out Talking Tall Tales because it's the better script haven /J.
Thank you, Esme, for creating that, by the way.
It is a beautiful thing. I love it. I'm Skittles Audios on pretty much every platform, and if you can't find me, then I'll find you, apparently. Definitely check out One-on-One and sign up for it if you feel like. If you qualify for the big podcasts, you'll qualify for the little ones. Definitely check us out on the server because that's where we find you. I mean, where we all talk normally, like normal people. Yeah, I have a Reddit, I have a YouTube channel. I hang out here all the time.
We're ending on an ominous note. We'll find you.
Hey, yeah.
We'll find it.
I was on a collab if you want to check that one out. It's on Curie Does Random Stuff's channel. That's pretty much all I have to plug. The server, the me, the friends.
Well, again,
check out all the beautiful people.
Yes, thank you both for joining, as well as Leicas. And again, make sure to check us out over on our Discord server if you're able to, and hopefully we'll be able to have another one of these very soon. So again, thank you all, and we'll see you all later. Bye-bye.
Bye. We love you.